We saw Dismas die. We managed to resurrect Cobweb at the cost of the failsafe on the core. Made it back to the place. Life was still thriving. Mourned the loss of Dismas. Kind of celebrated our return. Uh, stuff and things. Dagny found out that the reason why the bag of holding is still around is because of Rin's lifeblood still inside of her. They find out about another door that's towards the. It was towards the eastern landmass, correct?
Eastern
Yeah.
landmass is a new settlement. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there were two guys that were drunk at the tavern who kind of mentioned that. They meet again in the morning with Carson. They agree to do it. They go there, about to examine the door. Then some invisible being starts messing with them. And then they get distracted by this pretty lady. And then it turns out she's an illusion. And ultimately tries and takes, well, ultimately does take Dagny's bag of holding. And Dagny just starts getting pissed and starts searching. And they see the person and then they just randomly flap their arms with the bag in tow, and so she casts a spell of magic. Turns out the thing is a harpy, and they're essentially chasing
To be fair,
in a
you got
chase now.
pissed before they even took your bag.
This is true.
Semantics.
Sure. That brings us to where we currently reside, where we had freeze framed after a mind sliver and a fireball, and I don't even remember what else was flung at this creature, but not before it had the last laugh and has successfully stolen the party's bag of holding, which contains some extremely important things, before it begins to take flight and is quickly moving away from the party at large. Bear in mind, this battle map does not reflect where you truly are. You are actually atop this giant cliff, which is a good 200 or so feet up. And the top part houses this building that this group had been trying to get into. It's pretty clouded up here, and you're by a tree line. And that brings us here, where we will unfreeze, leaving the party free to act as they see fit, as your fireball and shouting and commotion is echoing across the treescape as well as over the cliff. Surely the people down below just heard that.
I do have a character description if you want me to throw that out in this moment.
Go for it.
But yeah, with Dagny's dispel magic, the illusion of a human woman is dispelled, revealing the true visage of this avian creature. Their form is vaguely humanoid. Large wings sprout from their torso instead of arms. The majority of its body is adorned in white feathers. Their skin is a pale alabaster in coloration, only present from the sternum upwards, as well on the thighs, acting as a transition of sorts from feathers to scales that lead to talons tipped with claws the size of daggers. Their face invokes something of an uncanny valley effect, to a minor degree at least. While certainly beautiful and alluring in its features, you can't help but feel that it's too perfect. It is without blemish or flaw, as well as containing some kind of otherworldly aspect to it. White hair falls down its back. Its eyes are purely white orbs with a soft glow. It's owlish, almost. Dagny's bag is clutched tightly in one talon as it flies away.
Wow, descriptive. And of course, Kylak and Burzy, your two newfound friends who are part of this, are looking on in bewilderment, trying to piece together what just happened before our bearded pal Burzy kind of shakes his head a bit. What didn't it just took something from you?
How far away is the harpy from me?
What's your fly speed? 30 feet?
30, but keep in mind, she already had the time to throw 2 action spells at me.
Alright, so we'll say she's about 90 feet off. I presume you're trying to close the distance.
And I am going to.
But can I do something?
Well,
The man?
I I suppose so, but it sounds like we're trying to get some opposing actions in at the same time. So roll for initiative.
Okay.
Okay, I
I
don't know
mean,
what happened, but I had
I,
my foundry restarted, so I gotta get a second. Sorry.
I more so was trying to have an item interaction and not like a full action really quick.
Well, we'll just roll for initiative now,
Okay.
since
Okay,
it
I
looks
don't know
like
what
there's
happened.
multiple people trying to do one thing at once. I'll just
Okay,
roll
I don't.
initiative for you, and you can catch up whenever.
Thank you.
I assume we're all rolling initiative then.
If you intend to help out on what's currently taking place, then absolutely.
What the fuck? Randomly lose connection and then fucking.
Let's see, your guard and wizard pal are also aiming to help you as well, so they are joining the fray.
Let me roll. Forgot to. Oh, you already. There we go. Hey.
Naturally. All right. And allow me to narrate at this time, at the top of this cliff, with you, all the commotion reverberating outwards, you can hear some faint echoes coming from the camp below, as you imagine that some people heard that and are beginning a rush to your aid. The cloud cover that had been pretty thick up here, obfuscating view from atop the cliff you're on, would pass, and you would all begin to get a pretty good look at the area that you're in. All right, top of the initiative is. Oh, did that clear the encounter? No, it didn't. I see how that works. Okay. There we go. Our feathered friend is up first.
Alright. Seeing that this particular jig is up, and the blonde one is not stingy about throwing around magic, I'll go ahead and drop the bag while kind of screeching over my shoulder. Before I fly off into the branches and make sure I have cover of a tree trunk interposed between me and that group. And I'm gonna try and hide.
Okay. You have a good lead. Go ahead and make a stealth roll.
Of course, I'm on the fucking bottom of the initiative. Great.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The venom.
There we are. We have a Shire Guard elite whose once adorned armor is now battle scarred, but still he is ready to go at a moment's notice, is charging forth as fast as he can with a blade drawn, ready to make a difference. Oh, and he is going to make a perception roll to try to see where you went. You would see he's trying to locate your latest moves, but his head is on a swivel as he's looking around wildly, and he's pretty unsuccessful thus far. Looks like his wizard friend's going to do much of the same, and closes the distance and is aiding him. But so far you have not been spotted. Destined.
Alrighty. I'm going to, I guess, charge forward my movement speed towards it,
Okay.
and take aim in the general direction of where it disappeared, wherever, like the tree or whatnot. And
All right.
I'm gonna scream, "You will not make me my pawn, or you will not make me a pawn." And like his plates shift as like steam vents out, and his arm, like Transformer style, changes into like a cannon. And I'm gonna launch 2 firebolts at it in that general area.
All right.
It's the
Go
Mega
ahead and
Man
just
arm.
make your attack roll with disadvantage.
believe that's like a control click, right? To do that.
I mean, can he even attack me? He doesn't even know where I am.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm aiming in your general direction of where you disappeared.
Are y'all on a different map? Cause
Yep. You got left behind.
Oh,
Let's see if this is that a disadvantage.
You can just hit attack, and then there's a minus button you can hit.
There we go.
hmm.
No, I don't think that hits.
I don't know what the hell's going on with you. You gotta fix your shit, I'm afraid. Let's see if that
Okay,
works.
hold on. Let's do this.
there it goes.
Get your shit together.
Then minus.
You're
Okay.
firing 2?
Yeah, I can fire 2. Because
Ow.
multi-attack and
Level
cantrip is an attack.
That's not how that works.
It's not.
Doesn't that cantrip become 2 bolts at a certain level, or am I mistaken?
It's
Because
1
otherwise,
bolt. It gets more damage, but multi-attack
Yeah.
doesn't affect cantrips.
It does
No.
not, unfortunately.
So the
Oh,
8
okay,
is
then
the one
whatever.
you shut off first.
Well, that one wasn't even made at disadvantage either, so this is
oh,
the
I'm
one.
thinking of E blast. That's what that was. Yeah,
Yes.
the firebolt is different. Can
Yes.
be different at least. Yeah, so that one attack would go and it would impact a nearby
18
tree.
misses?
I'm afraid that this you don't have line of sight, and you just took a shot into the woods.
Also, Destined it was an 8 because K and L is keep lowest when you roll 2d20.
Ah, okay.
So that is really what your roll was.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes off, shoots into the trees, and you don't really see or hear any squawks of pain. Kylak is charging forth as well. He will roll perception. Looks like they're keen on trying to locate this creature. Nope, not a chance. He rolled stupid high. Erithal! Perhaps you know what's coming. Light him up.
Where is he? Show me.
Nice. That's what I like to see.
Nothing passes your gaze, as you are more acutely attuned than everyone else who's been trying to fruitlessly locate where this strange feathered creature is. And everyone does notice in the shine of this landscape that Erethal's eyes have changed in some capacity. You're not sure if you just haven't noticed that before or what, but definitely something going on with that. Either way, you would look around and within an instant you see a flash of feathers from behind some shrouded branches, and you would get a firm location on where they are.
Pointing it out, pointing to the branches of which I saw the leaves. But since that was my action, that would be my turn.
All right. And everyone would take note on where Erithal is pointing. The creature is, I believe, let's see, 100 feet off from where everyone is standing that hasn't moved up yet. Cobweb.
Do I have cover with the tree trunk I interposed between us?
Not full cover, but partial cover.
Okay.
These aren't
Okay.
the biggest trees in the world.
Just a
Let me
reminder,
see.
in case anyone misheard, I did drop the bag.
No, we heard you.
Let's see. I'm going to use this. Oh god.
Ooh.
I'm going to get within 30 feet and establish a telepathic connection.
Let's see. You're 100 feet off from where you are now. So you could action down. Oh, it's a bonus action. Okay. 60 feet. Fuck it. I'll say that you're just barely able to get a link at the edge if you're action dashing, because this is a bonus action. So yes, you can just get this established.
Okay. Instinctually, he's like, "Hey, are you trying to eat us, or?" Because I could get them to call off, I guess. But I just gotta know if you're trying to eat us or something.
Do I understand that at all?
I don't know.
Roll intelligence.
Alright, just an int check.
Nice.
You've been following around this weird pack of humans for a while now, and there's some key words that you pick up on that you're able to get a basic meaning out of it, not anything in detail. He's talking a little bit faster than you're able to get anything that's distinct, but you feel like this little green thing wants to know friend or foe.
I suppose a garbled telepathic thought would reach you.
Well, that's all I needed to hear. Alright, guys, calling off. She's not gonna eat us, probably.
Burzy, next in the initiative, looks at you. Wait, how did you decide that? What did you just do?
What do you mean? She told me. Anyway, we should probably. Yeah. Anyway, that's not important. Lawrence. I mean, I think I can get her to come down if you guys stop throwing shit at her.
Nadira and Dagny, if you wanted to do anything, now is your chance. Otherwise,
I'm going to grab. I was going to cast fly to grab my bag if it's still falling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's at the base of the trees. It's a ways off, but you haven't taken your eye. You know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna dash over there to grab it.
You would do so as the bag of holding is recovered.
I'm just gonna check it, make sure everything is in there.
Was there anything taken?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't really have the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nadira, any actions on your part?
Nope, I am not attacking this thing.
Sorry, whenever just like looking through the items of the bag of holding, it's just like a paper itinerary pops up.
Let's see.
I guess through the link, Cobweb's like, as soon as he's sure that nobody's going to fucking jump her to death, he gives her the all clear, sort of just like, safe down here now.
What's your passive perception to our feathered friend here?
My passive perception is 12.
All right. Let's see here.
I just kind of sling. I'm just gonna check the strap on the bag of holding, make sure that's not broken at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's some little indentation marks from where it was gripped, but there's no real lasting damage.
I just kind of look up at where this thing is, just kind of give it like the evil eye stare before walking off, kind of dust it off, and then sling it back on my shoulder and make sure I have a firm hold on it.
Damn, I
Fucking
haven't seen her.
staple that thing to you.
I haven't seen her that pissed since fucking Carson. Whatever.
To our feathered friend. This thing gets a little bit closer than you would like before you really notice it, but there is something that is clinging to the trees a good 30 feet away. It is eyeing you down.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hey, it's back.
All right. Does it seem like it's about to pounce?
It seems reared up and is watching you very intently. You feel like if you turn your head away or make any sort of moves, this thing is gonna come after you.
Okay. I guess I'll try to assert dominance.
What? How?
Well, more so scare it off, or at least make it seem that I'm not a meal for it.
Make yourself a bigger threat.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. I wanted to try and intimidate it, essentially. I'm turning towards it, outspreading my wings as far as they go, and kind of puffing up the feathers, and giving off kind of a warning kind of shriek at it.
This is a large predator, and you imagine it has taken down prey larger than you. Roll intimidation.
All right. I was wondering if I could use a cantrip in conjunction with this.
Okay.
I wanted to go ahead and use minor illusion to add some discordant, piercing tones to my shriek to make it more strange and foreign sounding and scarier.
All right. Go ahead and make your intimidation roll.
Ugh.
Okay.
It looks you down, and you let out this horrendous noise. However, it is not swayed by your display. I don't know why it is doing that.
Just over here. Oh, what was that fucking noise?
I guess this thing doesn't have a token set up, but I'll just leave it there for now.
Oh my god, he's square.
Here we go. I'm gonna end this and do this because the initiative was stuck on the other board. Here we are. It is going to leap at you. 60 fly speed. It is definitely going to be able to make that. To everyone else that's still collecting themselves as the group down below gathers their thoughts and is watching this creature, there's a much larger one that you see ducks out from one of the trees after it make this unsightly noise. And let's see. You have 2 attacks coming towards you. That sucks. That sucks. The first one's a crit.
Oh.
It went from the party trying to kill you to nature trying to kill you.
Is she within 30 feet?
Ah, the
I'd
circle of life.
Jeez.
I was for the link, so I guess so.
Yeah, you're basically cobweb for you to get this link. You're at the base of the tree, so yeah.
Okay, I would like to... let me see here. I would like to runic shield the crit, please.
Okay. Let's see.
Please don't crit again. Don't make me look foolish.
So it has to re-roll.
I would laugh.
Okay. It will re-roll. Imagine it crits again.
Please don't!
Do not tempt the dice gods.
To our unnamed feathered friend, this thing is coming at you full force, and you haven't really had to deal with something like this before. Usually you're pretty good at keeping a low profile, but you were put on the spot, and now this thing took advantage of you. And as you're about to be assaulted by the jagged beak, there's this shield that would manifest right in front of you. A runic symbol would deflect it as it crashes into it unceremoniously. Its jaws would snap fruitlessly in the air, but not before its claws also are having an attack of its own for a 19.
Yep.
You would be raked for 13 slashing damage as these large claws would rend you. You think if that pair of jaws had connected with you, it would have been disastrous. But it looks like that thing down there just tried to help you.
Alright.
I was down there doing the Oogie Boogie rune dance.
He's just Fortnite dancing.
Yeah,
he's just doing the default dance.
It's fucked up. The dance of my people.
You have a chance to react, Feather Boy.
Oh, okay. I am going to get pissed off that this thing dare claw me, and I am going to give off a psychic scream directly at it and cast this.
Oh shit.
Okay. Int save or okay, and is incapacitated. All right.
Yeah.
What's all right? It's a DC 16. I see. All right.
Intelligence, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It fails. All right. Go ahead and roll damage.
God.
31. Jesus Christ.
The big zap. God damn.
Ow.
Because it's incapacitated, it can't take actions or reactions until the
Start of your next turn.
my next turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's also gonna fall 30 feet. So let me boop boop boop.
Beat the shit out of it. Beat the shit out of
It's
it.
gonna take just full damage straight up. Ow. All right. There we are. You let out this horrendous screech with psychic flair. It would reverberate through the trees, and everyone down below instinctively winces at this awful noise this previously wonderful singer had just produced. And this large feathered creature that you would recognize as a Heliosic owlbear comes crashing down to the ground right next to Cobweb. It, in one fell swoop, looks considerably injured as there is blood pooling out of its mouth, eyes, and ear holes, and currently appears stunned.
Can we do anything?
I'm
Yes,
gonna
if
use
you-
my bonus action too.
Okay.
Using my movement, I'm gonna kind of swoop above and slightly behind the group, while simultaneously doing this. Targeting myself to get more movement and 8-10 hit points, and then I'll target 4 more people, which is Cobweb, Erithal, Destined, and this Night Fellow, who
Okay.
each of them gain 8 temp hit points and can use their reaction to use their movement. It's essentially, when I'm using that ability, I'm taking on a wondrous appearance, as well as giving off a lovely, long tone in a song-like voice.
All right, you would do so, and the affected creatures would receive the temp HP and are free to react. You would observe this large woodland creature that was just assaulted. It's slowly coming to, and although its feathers have been frilled up, it appears to have gone from the offensive to the defensive. You can
Is it?
see-
Wait, since it was his bonus action, isn't it still technically stunned?
Yeah.
It's incapacitated.
Until
It
the
is.
start of my next turn.
It's technically still not able to act, but I'm giving the group as a whole a chance to react rather than going through each individual person because that's
All
kind
right.
of tedious.
Could I sacred flame it?
Sure.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
That's a dex save too.
It's incapacitated, so I'm assuming this thing's automatically gonna fail. It would only make sense. Oh my god, you rolled max! You rolled max!
Yeah.
Zula's flame burns you.
It's beginning to rear up and try to recollect itself, but not before your sacred radiance would ignite its bloodied feathers, and it gives off a horrendous shriek for a second before making a weird noise and just collapsing to the ground. Dead.
What the fuck?
I guess these guys are roaming around here. It kind of figures we're at a high altitude.
And for our silent druid, you would know that that creature may have only been trying to feed itself. You can't help but feel bad for it, considering you did try to help a very similar creature not that long ago.
I'm just gonna silently fume because clearly Dagny's mad enough for all of us.
Fuck.
I did want to swoop down over at the corpse and begin eating it.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. You gotta save some of that for us.
I'm not eating an owlbear.
Why not? That's pure protein.
But yeah, no, I'm swooping over using my talons to open it up to get access to organs and soft meat, and just like stuffing my head in there and tearing shit out and eating voraciously.
You get about a couple mouthfuls before Burzy comes over and is shooing you off of the body. Hey, hey, hey! You're not the only one that has to eat around here. We may not kill you, but we're not exactly friends. We got mouths down there, you hear? Get off!
I mean, it kind of looks like she's just eating the squishy bits anyway.
Well, we need everything we can get. We're not wasteful. How do you think we survived this long?
Is there like a spell anyone knows that can make it so we can communicate with them?
Well,
What do
Cobweb
you mean
seems to
she's
be
been
doing-
talking this whole time?
Yeah, Cobweb seems to be doing that well enough, which is surprising. I would kind of think this would be your thing, Nadira.
What? Just because she's part bird?
Yeah.
I mean,
Tweet, 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 tweet. Yes,
Can't believe
clearly.
you just insulted their mother.
Yeah. Yo, mama. Just kidding. We're not even gonna go
But
into that.
yeah, I'll try and, as this guy's shooing me off, I'll try and grab a talonful of some meat before flying back off into a branch.
You get one little morsel before you buzz off, and it looks like the rest of these humans are moving in, having understanding the amount of meat that they just got here. Before Kylak speaks up. No, I'm sure we're gonna have the other ones gonna be catching up pretty soon, but at least we have a meal now. As for this creature, it should really just get out of here. After all, we have a lot of things to do today, don't we?
we do.
The way that it used, I assume it's magic. Do you think it caused that little thing with the statue back at the main doors?
There's no doubt about it.
Considering what it did to this creature, I wouldn't put it past it. We've been here for almost a week now, and we haven't really seen those statues just move randomly, so put two and two together.
Fair
This thing
enough.
didn't show up until I got here.
Still maintaining the connection. Cobweb is going to send a telepathic message with just one word. He's going to say, name.
I suppose there's
Name,
no.
perhaps.
I suppose there's no real response. I suppose just through the link it would just be confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that prepared. Fuck.
What are you
Okay,
trying to
he's-
do, Cobweb?
He's sitting there. He's rubbing his temples. I don't know. She's thinking in like hieroglyphics. I don't get it.
What are you, well, what are you
Wingdings.
trying to do? What are you trying to do?
Huh? We're having a conversation.
Oh, well, it doesn't seem like she's understanding. Maybe she doesn't have that much of a language.
Yeah, it could be.
I'll go ahead and spit some words down at the group because the green one's trying to talk to me. Book, teeth, helmet, mutton.
Yes, this thing is literally like a pet bird.
Can I try to cast speak with animals on the creature thing?
You would do so and find that it works like a charm, and a full link is established.
What is your name?
So they're essentially unable to understand me fully, even though I'm not speaking a language really.
This is, I think, the closest analog would be a form of telepathy, since speak with animals. Animals don't understand languages, but this is telepathic.
I'm like, I'll ping it just for.
Yeah.
Right, and the question was a name?
Yeah, what is your name?
Assuming you have one.
Let me see here. It's just for my sake, really.
Given this is telepathy and transcends your limited ability to speak common, you would understand the query. as well as anything else she says.
Me. I am me.
And what are you doing here? Me.
Watching.
Watching us? Were you waiting for us or watching the people that were here?
The flock of two legs. Interesting, fascinating study.
Studying's okay. Stealing, not so much. You didn't need to take her bag if you were hungry.
Just staring daggers at the bird thing now.
Wanted to see. Wanted to play.
We can play. Things just don't need to go missing in the process. How long have you been here?
Many days. I follow the flock.
There's more of you.
No. The flock of humans.
Oh, you're following them. Studying them, right?
Yes.
Well, if you want to eat with us, you could study us more closely.
Really?
Yeah, you may have to ignore the blonde one. She gets angry about a lot of things. The green one, no promises what he may try to do to you. He's overly friendly,
Is the blonde
but you're welcome
one,
to try.
Is the blonde one the leader of your flock? She is the loudest.
Oh no.
I don't know, would it be insulted or impressed?
Oh, it was really funny. God damn it. Okay.
Is it? I'm sitting here cracking up because you guys are having a telepathic conversation, but Cobweb is just on the sidelines watching these hieroglyphics pass by, like these wills and feelings and stuff, and he's like, "What the fuck?
He's trying to translate the wingdings.
Is that one me? What?"
I don't know if I would necessarily call her the leader, but she seems to be... She was the original of us, I'll say that much. But we will try to keep her at bay as long as you mean no harm or ill intent or try to take her bag again. Then I can't promise anything.
Hurt? No. I am friend.
Okay, well, friend is a good start. So, and I go over to the other guys that shoot her away and kind of like hit them a little firmly. Then why don't you come over and we'll start from the ground. Just no more taking things if they're not yours.
What's it saying, Nadira?
Its name is me. I don't know if that's actually the name or just like a first person context.
I would say
It's possible
it's
that these...
Definitely, that's just, it didn't really understand the question of
And
the
name. Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll get there when we get there.
It's possible these creatures don't understand the meaning of names.
But she wants to study. She's been following this group for days, studying them. She
This
thinks
group?
they're interesting.
Wait, you mean the settlement?
Yeah. Yeah, she's been following them for a couple of days, watching them. But she said she's not here to harm us. She's not here to take things. She just wanted to play and was curious what you had in your bag.
Well, stealing a very powerful magical item, especially for me, was the wrong idea.
Okay, doing anything to you is the wrong idea. Come on.
Its intelligence is too low to grasp.
I just go deadpan and look up at the sky.
She means no harm. She is just curious. So let her be
She coulda
curious.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with curiosity. That was the whole reason why the cartographer guild was started. But
I mean,
there are ways
didn't it
of
kill
going
the cat?
about it.
Okay, curiosity killed the cat, not the harpy, so relax.
The phrase is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
Hey, what the hell's going on over there? You guys okay?
We're fine. We have food now.
There's a scampering from near the incline, which came from lower down, as you can see there's a trio of goblins that they're huffing and puffing, but it looks like they finally made it up the very steep cliff and are rapidly approaching. So they come in to see what's happening. They see a large dead creature and everyone's standing around. And
Look at what Lord Cobweb did. Pointing at the corpse.
Aw, man, we were supposed to go hunting later. Damn it! You really beat us to it.
I mean,
Well, this
yeah,
one just showed
totally.
up, so yeah, this one just showed up, so we had to take it while we could get it.
Just a little wink to Cobweb.
That's precisely what. Thank you. I needed this.
I don't think we have to hunting anymore. If he's doing all the work, we could just sit on our big green asses and do whatever we want. Oh, shut up. Don't be like that. You gotta pull your weight still, but you're putting us to shame. That thing's an owl bear. Did you kill that all by yourself?
He certainly did.
Yeah, with nothing but the power of my mind. Everyone saw it.
What the
I
hell?
took my staff and hit him with it.
Oh,
I think he's telling the truth. Look at its eyes, and they're all weird and red. I think he really did.
Cobweb, just roll deception with advantage.
let's go. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Hiya! Oh, hold on.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
Oh,
It's a little better.
These goblins don't take much convincing, and you can see that their eyes widen a little bit as you have a new commanding presence of respect in these three.
Well, shit. Where'd you say you were from?
My life is a lie. Hi, Shire.
Well, no shit, Sherlock, but I mean, like, after everything got bad.
Oh. See, the thing is, I'll explain it all later. It's a really long story.
Alright. Yeah, we get it. Your time is probably really valuable.
Yeah, totally.
You can see one of them would run off towards the cliff and is shouting down there, apparently giving an A-OK to the rest of the camp down below. You imagine they probably had more people on standby given the circumstances, but these goblins happened to be ready to go as they had all their gear on at the time.
I would say during this conversation, I did want to stealthily go ahead and fly to the ground and get behind Cobweb and Nadira. Because they did ask me to get back onto the ground for them. So,
All right. The goblins are too enamored, admiring Cobweb to really seem to care, given the amount of interesting people in your pack here. You can see that they could care less.
Don't be suspicious.
So, we were originally here to try to open the door or just inspect the door?
There's a structure that's pretty close to here. That's right along the cliff's edge. That you can see the silhouette from here. Pretty decadent structure. Has some golden accent marks and some beams and buttresses and whatnot. Pretty sizable. And the objective was essentially to get into it. You think that these guys have probably been trying for at least a couple of days.
well.
Well, random thing to try. I'm just gonna try to like push it open, just because why the fuck not? Who knows? It may react to somebody different. You never know. Magic's weird.
All right, so you're making your approach off to this large structure, and you can see
Correct.
as you get close that despite its inherent age of being here for a while, it appears quite clean. And you can see there's these large stained glass windows, and there's a semicircular room that juts off to a more main part of the building where the main door is. And you can see as you pass by this series of windows that you can see there are phases of the moon that are adorned in them. It looks like this might be some sort of very well crafted place, maybe of, you want to say royalty, but it seems so out of place being out here by itself in the middle of wherever you are. But this door is a large double door, similarly adorned in gold and this dark blue metal. And you can see it has these 4 circular indents that there's 2 on each door. And there's this inlay pattern that dances between them, almost like engravings. And just by looking at this, you can tell this is no normal doors. There's no handle or anything. Go ahead and just roll perception.
While that's going on, I
Okay.
did want to poke and prod at Cobweb and Curiosity.
I don't see anything.
Ow, no, that's my eye. Ow, ow. No, that's my ear. Ow.
As for Destined, you don't really discern too much at a glance. There's these 4 large pillars that are at the 4 corners of this building that seem to give off this white light at their tips. You think that might be magical. And looking down at the door itself, you can see there's some broken tools that are discarded along the sides of the steps that lead up to this double doors. You think that this was the fruitless attempts of those before you that tried to get in.
Well, right out of the gate, I'm thinking if they're depicting phases of the moon, maybe opening it has to do something with moonlight. But that's really all I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I don't really see anything else.
There's nothing else that really is to this door. There's the 4 indents in a decadent inlay and no handles. Definitely is going to require some sort of trickery.
I used Mage Hand to assist me in poking and prodding at Cobweb.
Yeah, Cobweb, it doesn't get any simpler, and you feel like you're being poked almost by an invisible hand of sorts.
Ow, ow.
As well as talons.
Okay, at this
My
point, yeah,
foot.
at this point, Dagny will just kind of turn around, just seeing this, and she'll just, I think, she's not going to cast anything. I think she'll just kind of try and interpose herself between Cobweb and the creature, and she'll just kind of go.
Oh shit.
What? Okay. You make this animalistic hiss towards the bird creature and get in between and spare Cobweb from his prodding.
This one is scary, so I will retreat a few paces back before doing the same thing that I attempted to do with that owlbear, make myself big, pop up, and shriek right back at him.
Oh Jesus.
It's an unsavory noise, Dagny, and it hurts your ears and you can't help but wince at it.
All right, guys. All right. There's no sense in all that. She was clearly just admiring my Herculean physique.
Oh Jesus.
There's only so much poking and prodding that the creature can do before it attempts to dissect you, Cobweb.
You would feel the Mage Hand poking you, Dagny, with your mind, with you being slightly distracted now.
I just Do a death glare at the bird.
Oh.
Alright, let me see if you scare me off.
Oh,
I'll stop, and I'll look to hide behind Nadira, being the one I've talked with the most.
I want to speak up and ask them who specifically was trying to use those tools to open the door. I would like to talk to them.
There would be one of the gobbies who is closest to you and would hear your question and would speak up. Oh, I think every single one of us has kind of had a stab at that door by now. I can tell you that trying to brute force it wouldn't work. You see how big I am, and it just didn't really do anything. There's this other force that just kind of keeps it shut. I mean, if it wasn't fancy magic stuff, I definitely would have broke it open. But there's just, I ain't too good at that stuff. You got the little full weirdy thingy indent thing of shenanigans. Maybe if you, maybe if you like punch them or something in like a certain order, or maybe if you like blast some magic into it, or like
This is a door made out of heliostone. No amount of blasting is going to effective. It has a very complicated set of mechanisms that can only be channeled with the use of magic. As I'm saying that as I make my way towards this.
You haven't tried
this
blasting
structure.
hard enough. But has
Hailstone.
anybody tried? Has
I-
anybody tried anything at night specifically?
night. No, let me settle down at night. And Dagny, you would make your way towards this structure, which I will reiterate is man-made, opposed to the heliostone door below, to find that this structure, this door, is not made of heliostone, but is equally perplexing. I imagine you're taking a more arcane approach to things, so roll Arcana to see if you can discern anything of interest.
Yes.
I'm curious. What with Aerothal's light magic? Does he, like, emanate a bit of heat at all?
Not really, no.
Okay.
It's just kind of like a. I mean, like he's not like glowing or anything, minus his eyes, you know.
Okay. Well,
That's a dirty
nice.
20.
Dirty.
Fuck off.
Hold on one second.
But yeah, while they're fiddling with the door, I did want to take flight briefly and perch myself on Aerothal's shoulders.
All right.
Oh yeah, you
The
hold like
talents, the
60
talents, the
pounds. I was going to say, you're going to like knock over the wet towel that is Aerothal.
Oh.
Oh, why does everything feel suddenly heavier? What?
There's just
Let me see.
a pin. Something is just like pinching the hell out of your shoulders.
No, that's the crushing weight of our infinitesimal place in this godless universe. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
This goblin knows what he's talking about.
All right. Anyways, Dagny, you're looking this door high and low and trying to see if there's any way that you could possibly get in. And from what the goblins and everyone has already spoken about this door, looks like brute forcing it isn't really an option here. These 4 indents, you would press your hand to them, and they don't compress in any way. They're these kind of semicircular indents, and they have this material, this metallic. You can look at it from certain angles and see there's the faint shimmer of magic, and you feel like something or some energy or something is supposed to go into each of these 4 indents, and that it's supposed to effectively interact with the door in some way to open it. But you look around and there's really not a whole lot to work with. And you would look back up and you do see that there's those 4 pillar like towers that have lights shining at the top, and think that that may play a role in some way. Maybe it's a representation of some kind.
Can I try and study these depictions of these towers more closely and see what differentiates one from the other?
With your Arcana check, you take a while to look at this, and you find that these 4 towers, for the most part, are identical. They're effectively it's the same kind of material, where it's this golden metal with this dark blue walling, and they come to a wizard's roof point, and then there's a little ball of light that is sitting on top of each of those 4 points. It's like a little glowing ball of light that's giving off its own rays. You imagine it's no bigger than the size of a fist.
Wall spear, fart.
How many phases of the moon are the depiction showing, or is it just all of them?
It's effectively all of them. There's
Okay,
certain...
that's more than 4.
Yeah, there's more stained glass that's featured at various parts of the structure.
That ball of light, is it in a different position every time with each of these towers?
How do you mean?
Like, is it like, does each one have like, is it one above or one off to the side, one off to the left, one off to the right?
I'm trying to make sense of what you're asking here. How do you mean?
Well, I mean, is the pillar kind of acting like the point on a sundial?
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
I know what she's talking about, but it's hard to explain.
Yeah, I don't have a visual representation of this building, so I apologize. But
Okay, I'm assuming. Hang on a minute, seeing if I can.
Time to pull up MS Paint.
Oh, fuck.
In the meantime, I'm tormenting Erithal, trying to figure out why his eyes glow while the others don't, while perched on his shoulders.
I wish there was a damn draw tool on this thing.
Glowing eyes.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of sort of channeling my inner, like, child playing video games in the early 2000s. I'm guessing that maybe at night, if the moon has to do with anything, if it's being depicted, that maybe these orbs might shine a light in a direction, pointing us towards whatever orb or whatnot we have to put in the indent. Maybe they only show up at night or something. I mean, it's an idea.
Well, where's the sun right now? Is it shining like right on the door, like directly at it?
it is catching some sunlight, and just by going off of that, it doesn't seem to react to the sun in any way.
So it did. Oh.
Given that you had a high Arcana roll, I will additionally say that the size of the indentations, these 4 indents, 2 on each door, and the size of these small little balls of light atop these towers, they're about 80 feet off the ground. They're roughly the same size.
Okay. I'm just gonna get close to the door, and I'm just kind of use like my cloak to try and like shield it away from the light, see if it changes at all.
You would have a little bit of an experiment on how light is hitting these indents and find that there's no discernible reaction from the door.
The harpy has a great idea. It comes to the conclusion that because Erithal's eyes glow, that I should give him glowing things to make them glow even brighter.
That's what's up.
Meanwhile, as that shenanigans are happening between Bird Lady and company, Kylak would speak up. Alright, the rest of us are going to take this meat, we're going to get it down to camp. It's a bit of a heavy haul, so we'll take care of this if your group wants to continue with the door. I will say that, yeah,
trying to be forceful if you haven't already gotten an earful from the goblins doesn't seem to work.
That much is very certain. Brute force would not work with this.
We've tried pumping a bunch of our own magic into it, into those indents. Our evoker here has tried a few different things. Even tried blasting the glass, but it appears it just doesn't take. I would suspect that those indents take something specific, but at this point, we have to worry about keeping everybody fed and safe and look out, that sort of crap. So, we're gonna break this down, and if you haven't come back in about an hour's time, we'll come check on you.
Sounds fine.
But to clarify, the tips of these towers have glowing balls on them.
Yep, it comes to a needle-like point, and there's the little glowing ball that's just curiously perched atop.
Yeah, like I said, give glowing things to the glowing eye man. Maybe that'll do something, according to my bird brain. I'll fly up and try and first mage hand and take one of the balls on the tips of these towers.
Okay, he's doing my idea.
You would mage hand over to this shiny object to give to the man with beautiful eyes, and it almost feels weightless as you get a grip on this little glowing ball, and it almost comes out of place in where it was perched in space, and you just straight up grab it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and swoop down and drop it into Erethal's hands before systematically swooping up and down to grab the others.
Erethal, you receive the gift of a small glowing orb.
I shall ponder the orb.
You grab it and
Erethal.
find that you almost lose grasp of it as it appears to be completely weightless and just drifts off if you don't have a grip on it.
Oh,
Hey, Arathal, you want to try
Yeah.
and put it in the dent in the door?
I was going to say
shall.
the same thing.
I shall do the ball light thing in the indentations.
All right. You notice that the first one that you've been given is beginning to slowly shrink. And you get over to the door, and its size has diminished by about half. And you would go to place this little ball into the dent, and there is a quick, sudden application of force as it is ripped out of your hand and would slick into one of the slots. It's still dwindling in size, but it looks like it reacted in a positive manner.
Oh, so we need to do this quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cast fly myself,
Oh no, there's going to be a cat fight for the glowing balls now.
and I'm gonna go ahead and start grabbing the remaining orbs.
All right. Yeah, Goat, you would have gotten your third orb and flying it over to the man with beautiful eyes who's down by the door now to see that it looks like he put it into the slots, and by the time orb number 3 is obtained in your hands, Erethal, the first orb has completely dwindled to nothing.
Crap.
Maybe it's the daylight?
I'll fly back and see if there's another orb.
You see that there is a few flickers of light as there's another orb that rapidly forms atop the tower. Looks like you gotta flap your arms a little bit quicker than you were before. But now, Blonde Lady's flying too.
It's a game now.
Yeah, I just go ahead and take the orb that I grabbed and put it into one of the slots.
You do so. I imagine there's a combined effort here between those who can fly, with Erethal inserting the balls into the slot.
And you get Zula's light, and you get Zula's light.
With 2 people flying up to these towers and coordinating with Erethal, the 3 of you would just manage to get all 4 of these slots fixed with an orb of light before any one of them has time to disappear. And as soon as that 4th one is put into place, there is a shudder as the door will begin to illuminate. And a brief second later, the door opens.
Wall hold ball!
I'm going
Wonderful.
to, I would assume it's dark, right? It's not like a Far Cry cave where there's lit candles in it.
interesting enough, there's seemingly some passive illumination that's emanating in these halls, and you're not really sure where the point of origin is, but it's definitely a very magical and pristinely kept place.
Is the light enough to like see properly?
Oh yeah, that's the
Okay.
imagine that
Okay.
was by
Cool. Yeah.
design.
Ah. Alrighty, gang. Let's gather round and explore the mystery door.
In case you need more light, just putting a hand on one of fucking Destin's like plates and casting light.
Cool. My shoulder blade glows.
I presume everyone is going to be following suit and is entering the building.
Shine,
Yes.
shine.
She's
Perfect.
gonna
Shine
take.
bright
She's
like a
also gonna
diamond.
take that chance to cast Mage Armor on herself because she hadn't done that before.
Yeah, who knows what lies within. I want to take a 5-minute break before we go in, if that's fine with everybody.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sure.
All right, 5 minutes. We'll
We don't
reconvene
know
at
what's
9.
inside.
My pen.
Well,
I got it.
I have returned.
You didn't wash your hands, I could hear.
What?
I could hear you in your bathroom. You didn't wash your hands.
Alright, listen here, you aerosol having perception motherfucker.
Piss-stained grippers.
Don't worry, I'll use those hands to stabilize you. No.
Why is his hands wet?
It builds character.
Doesn't piss work as like a disinfectant?
No.
No.
No, absolutely not.
Oh no, I'm thinking of jellyfish stings.
Isn't
Even
that
that
like a
doesn't
wife
work.
nail?
That's also, like, not true as well.
No, that's absolutely not true.
I still think it's funny. Just piss on someone's leg.
Piss on him.
Piss on them,
It's-
Jimmy!
Because your piss has like a lot of bacteria in it.
It's literally body weight. It has urea and all that jazz.
Urea.
That's what I
Urea,
said,
more like
urea.
Korea.
More like
There's
my
urea in my wea.
Anyways, do you guys feel that sharp pinching on your shoulders too?
He's just turning his head like, what's his name's Batman? Like, that's why he doesn't
180.
notice the two legs on the side of his head.
Aerithal can see all your sins now.
I forget his name. What's his name?
just the fucking like taking down the owlbear, points at Cobweb. He did it.
Michael Keaton, that's his name.
Sorry for delay.
B-Man is made out of bees.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Bump. Okay, where were we?
no.
Everybody was heading inside of this decadent building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the harpy will kind of flap its wings a bit, chirp off. Excite! No! Look, touch!
For our bird
So we're
friends.
gonna use her as a physical bait for traps, yes? Since she's so curious.
I thought I was trap bait.
I thought I was tricked.
You're not trap bait anymore after what's happened.
Uh,
Alright.
Ooh,
For our
maybe
bird
you
can
friends,
be if you want to be.
you have
I
a
won't
particular
stop you.
fixation on all things that are shiny. Seeing as your current idea of grabbing shiny things and bringing it to the shiny-eyed man worked out very well. So you're particularly keen on doing that again and being as helpful as possible and maybe doing something cool along the way. After all, you did just help open that door that the other two legs just spent about a week trying to get through. Maybe you're smarter than them.
I am the greatest. They're lucky to have me, in all honesty.
Everyone would notice heading inside that your bird friend is visibly lifted in their mood. It seems like this gesture that they assisted you with is definitely had a good impact. And everyone would step further in, and your eyes would widen a bit as this place is even more impressive on the inside than it is on the outside.
Ooh.
Entering this sanctum is like entering a new world. The architecture of this building is unlike anything previously experienced. Metallic gold hues mesh with wooden panels and deep blue walls. Large fixtures emanate this field of light that's dancing through the space. Its ring design brings paths together as though denoting paths of stars. You can see that most of the building is, by design, a singular large room with a couple of minor offshoots. In this center room resides a large semicircular table with several chairs for a number of people to seat together in unison.
It appears the center of attention of this room is a huge yet blank canvas wall, a good 20 by 30 feet in its stretch. You imagine people could write all sorts of information on it with how much space this wall provides. In the center of this room, floating midair is a spherical metallic orb. Mostly featureless, however, there is a spherical lens, almost like an eye, that is pointed at the canvas wall. There's nothing suspending it, it's just simply preserved midair. Inherently magical in nature, no doubt. You can see the phases of the moon are on a lot of these stained glass, and as light shines through, it gives this ethereal glow through them. To those who carry the cartographer core, there are a lot of pieces of strange, curious fixtures in here that do give off some very similar vibes. For those that know of the startographers, there's no doubt, this place screams that it belongs to one.
There's no doubt.
I'll be an Umber Hulk's uncle. I honestly didn't think we'd find one this fast. Should we fan out, search around?
We certainly can.
I'll lift off from my perch on Herthal's shoulder towards the big center orb. After all, spheres bring good things. And I'll perch on that.
You land on it, and it wobbles very slightly, but given you're so lightweight, it's almost imperceptible. It doesn't glow like the other ones do, which is disappointing, but the metal feels almost tingly to be standing on. That big circular lens at front, maybe that can be plucked out? Who knows?
I'm gonna tap it with my talons and see what sound it makes.
You give it a tap, and there's a reverberating ting, and it reverberates a lot more than it should. You think maybe it's magical.
I want to play a little ditty by tapping my talons against it to make the little song of these tings.
Roll performance.
Oh shit.
You're actually
Jesus.
quite good at this. And as everyone begins to walk into this room and take a look around at what we have here, there's a metallic tinging in a repetitious manner that's coming from our bird friend atop the floating orb. And it's actually quite pleasant.
It's the synth solo from Running in the 90s.
All right. I presume the rest of our friends here are going to be looking around the room and beginning to investigate the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Particularly, is that spyglass true to life?
Yes, it is.
Particularly that's where Cobweb's going.
Very well.
Just tapping Dagny on the shoulder, just what an unexpected ally. Or at least help.
I just look up at the bird creature just making music. Suppose it's one way of looking at it.
Seemed quite angry when it took your bag. Mind telling me why? Other than it's stealing from you? Looked like you were going for the kill there.
It belonged to a friend of mine, an artificer, who was killed by the Icon of Veneration.
Wait,
Arathal, roll religion with advantage when you hear that.
your brain not good.
Oh.
12.
DC's not high. You would recollect the Icon of Veneration. It was one among the icons of Zula, no doubt. And that one in particular is one that is favored by the Chosen themselves. Something of a renegade from the usual tenets that they're sworn by. Someone that goes off on their own accord and is given pristine authority on making judgment as they see fit. One who's able to go beyond the constraints of High Shire authority to do what must be done. The arbiter of the Chosen incarnate. Someone of particular value.
I can't.
Oh, and you would know a basic description.
Can't just tell your friend.
That's got some real nice armor. It'd probably look pretty good on me.
Also,
Icon's long gone, honey.
Ah, yeah, but armor stays forever.
what else do I know about? Just cause they mentioned artificer, just so that was their bag of holding. Did they make it?
They did.
And asking that, could I make any sort of check to see what I can recollect about artificer magic?
Yeah, roll Arcana.
Arcana. Oh no, brain dumb. Oh no.
Brain itchy. Artificer magic is something that's actually become quite valuable in recent times after the Omen, given that they had made fast advancements and created arcane cannons to mount the walls. Why one would be killed by the Venerator of all things is a bit perplexing to you. People killing other people in times like this is disgusting.
I don't understand why.
Well, I suppose, long story short, the Venerator was going through some bout of madness, had seen the future, and proclaimed that Rin was a part of it, and ultimately was looking towards not just their destruction, but the entirety of Patrol 26 because of our connection to the Cartographer Corps.
So, friend of yours was a betrayer?
No.
Die.
Traitor!
That's trademarked. You owe me $20 now.
Do you
Sorry.
remember when I talked to that Abyssalith in the Keystone, when I mentioned the name Forsharin?
I do recall that, yes.
Forsharin was formerly an Abyssalith, but being by the name of Ragni, extracted Forsharin's soul and put it within a humanoid body.
Looks right at Destined.
What'd I do?
No, not a mechanical body, actual flesh and blood.
Oh.
Ragni then proceeded to torture Forsharin in that humanoid form, to the point where she was only left with one usable hand. She managed to make her escape from Ragni's clutches and made their way towards at least the outskirts of Highshire, living in the Outlands. They made a great mechanical suit for themselves that allowed them at least to operate normally in some capacity. This bag is the last thing that Rin gave me before the Venerator killed them.
It's just...
I begged and pleaded with the Venerator just to leave her alone, but there was no getting through to her. She lost her mind. She saw something she was not meant to see or remember.
Then... suppose the icon did what it thought it had to.
I will reiterate for you, Dagny, as you're recollecting on this, an important piece of information that the Venerator disclosed to you is the information that she was exposed to was shown to her by a startographer that she found before the fall. Or for the omen, rather.
It's just hard to believe a icon of Zula's chosen killing someone like that.
Like I said, she was shown something that she was not meant to see.
If only we had this key back then.
Well, we did.
I'm looking. Wait, you had the memory key back then?
Not the memory key, but it's a long story for another time. So much to explain.
Question.
And she will start searching the room.
All right. Excellent.
I did want to do something once they finish their conversation and they're all searching around and doing stuff. I'm still tinging away this nice metal song, liking how it reverberates, but I did want to do something funny.
Okay.
Whenever like somebody bends down to like inspect something or pick something up, I did want a minor illusion and create the, because I heard this sound before in Most Probability, that ogre back at the human flock, no doubt farted at some point.
Oh no.
Yes.
Fuck.
They made a big stink of it, no pun intended.
I wanted to minor illusion an ogre fart on some person who bends over to pick something up or study something.
Let's see who it is first. I'm gonna roll a d6.
Ah, shit.
It's destined.
I mean, wouldn't people know that it wouldn't be me anyway?
It came for your general direction.
I fought in your general direction. But, well, since apparently I'm bending over to be looking for stuff, I would like to actually, like, look around to see if I can find any, like, lock boxes or, like, chest type things.
Oh, there are certainly compartments around here waiting to be pried at. For everyone that is inspecting and searching the place and looking for anything of value, which I imagine is everybody,
Yes.
roll investigation.
Expand your minds. Find things.
I almost clicked intimidation by
Oh my
accident.
lord, thank God.
What?
It's a 12.
3.
Oh, stupid high elf.
Damn, bro, you guys are making me feel better by comparison. This is crazy.
God damn.
I am
It is
good
my
at
fault.
looking for things.
High elf distracted me.
Oh, you're the same
Alright.
damn number.
Exactly. You distracted me.
I am
Dag,
good at
What can
looking
I
for
say? I'm
things.
hot.
We'll begin with you.
Mhm.
An almighty 12. As you begin to search the room, there's small little outcroppings that have some organizational things that are in little compartments, and it looks like this place as a whole was a congregation area for people of many walks of life to come together and combine ideas, tactics, objects in order to accomplish a single goal in unison. What that goal was is not inherently clear, but it's obvious that there was something of extraordinary crisis that put these people together in this position. You imagine it was the genocide of humanity. You would come across what looks to be some replica of some sword, a proof of concept. It's broken up into a couple of pieces, and it's all on these wireframe displays, as there's some scrabbled notes that go into detail on how these things would come together. a lot of the description calls for a ton of keystones. And eventually it would click into your mind as you would recognize what this sword is.
Holy fuck!
Bruh.
Granted, this is in pieces and appears to just be a demonstrational unit, but there's no doubt this is the very sword that was wielded by the Venerator. Coincidental, if anything.
You've got to be shitting me.
Fucking oof.
And this is just proof of concept. Is there an author to this?
You can see that the notes going into details on how to mass produce this sword are scrabbled on coordinating with a couple of different people whose names you don't recognize. However, the name Rylock would come up in multiple accounts. It seems like this Rylock, as you know who that is, was the ultimate creator of this object.
She's kind of shocked in disbelief at first. And then that disbelief just kind of turns into like a fuming rage. She's staring at this paper intensely.
It does strike a personal chord with you. A lot of what this paperwork regarding this sword denotes calls for a lot of materials that you've never even heard of, much less understand how to manipulate. But it looks like that sword, at least conceptually, originated from this very place.
So we find the nerd who wrote this book and kick his ass, right?
But I'm distinctly remembering the sword now, and one thing I would always remember is that the Venerator would summon it into her hand, and after we chopped off her head, it subsequently disappeared.
That is correct.
Her head or the sword?
The sword.
The sword.
Okay.
Okay.
A replica? Another version of it?
Yeah, you feel like this. You can see Dagny as you're looking at it. It's definitely not like the sword just broken up, but essentially just a demonstrational piece made from common materials.
I mean, does it mention anything about shunting away in an interdimensional space?
Going off your investigation check and making some sense out of the notes, there is some mention on a way to prevent it from being obtained by enemy hands should it be subjected to being claimed by said enemy. It never goes into detail on what the enemy actually is, however, and it begs the question on why they wanted to make a weapon like this to begin with.
Well, they didn't want it to get into the hands of the enemy. And the only way to keep it away from an enemy is putting it in its own dimensional space. And only give it access to those who are supposedly deemed worthy.
Food for thought. Meanwhile, Cobweb, you have an interest in these telescope-like objects, and you waste no time running right up to one, and you have to... There is some adjustments to lower it, so you have to do so in order to get within reach of the eyepiece, but you would, in fact, look through it, just through the stained glass out of curiosity to find that, although the outside world is completely obfuscated when trying to look through these stained glass panels normally, through this lens, it's as if the stained glass isn't even there. And it lets you see into the distant horizon, as denoted by the previous scene card of the landscape you are in. And you notice there's this radiance in the sky that is just coming from these spire-like mountains. It's almost as if that going and looking through these lenses lets you see things that you otherwise would not be able to perceive. You think that this thing is particularly good at spying the evidence of aura, auric energy to be exact.
Let's fucking go. As he sort of as soon as he sort of comes to that conclusion in his head, he folds up the tripod and slings it across his shoulder. Yeah, this is mine now.
You do so, and there's nothing bolting it to the ground. Is you got this auric telescope.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in particular that you were investigating?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's mostly just him fiddling with the instruments and seeing how they work and whatnot.
Okay. Destined. You are searching through a collection of desks off to the side. A larger congregation as there are some parchments spread about. And you take a look around, sifting through notes. Meetings of a bunch of names and places that are simply not familiar to you, and they don't really go into detail. However, interestingly enough, your eyes would fall on something that's within something of, it almost looks like a lockbox, a glass one, although it's creaked slightly open, so it's not locked. And approaching it, you see that there is a decadent warhammer that is placed within the red velvet-lined interior. And just by the gleam that is coming off of the metal, you can tell that there's more to this warhammer that meets the eye, sitting there, waiting to be claimed.
Sitting there menacingly, as if it's already open, I would assume that if it was potentially trapped or whatnot, technically it would be triggered, I guess. So I guess I'll flip it open the rest of the way.
You do so.
And take it.
You obtain this shining warhammer, and it definitely has some magical applications to it, the likes of which aren't inherently clear. There's not necessarily anything that's within the case that denotes what it is. But you would look through said papers and specifically sift through anything that makes mention of a warhammer. It takes you a while, but with your good investigation check, you would find something that makes mention of it. Something that has been brought here by the dwarves, coming from farther up north on the eastern landmass, as the functionality of this hammer is made known to you.
Cool. Oh!
Oh my god.
Oh shit! That's what's up.
Cool. Yeah. Mine.
To Detroit with you.
I sling it on my back with the rest of the weapons. I turn to them. I didn't find anything.
You sling it on your back with a metallic clang as you obtain the banhammer.
I like to imagine.
The banhammer. Fuck.
Wow.
I like to imagine when he bent over to pick that up. That's when I played the part.
Yeah. Everybody turns. You see me put it on my back, turn around. I didn't find anything. No.
After breaking ass.
I don't want to
Okay.
be banned. I don't believe you, but I don't want to be banned. So
You do so as you just hear a sudden that emanates out from your behind. You know your autonomy well enough to know that that wasn't you.
I can't even breathe. Why would I have air to exhale?
damn, Destin, 7 points.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
Alright. As for Arathol, you are searching through in your own corner of the room, and you find that there's a series of pens, quills, and writing utensils. It looks like this may have been the area that they have collected to write down their own findings. And you find that tucked away in one of the receptacles with a bunch of quills is what appears to be a small wooden rod that has this little green crystal adorned at the top with these orangish red feathers. This looks interesting. You pick it up and you find that the little green crystal at the end is actually wet, which is curious considering the age of this place. You touch a finger to it and there's this viscous, almost snot-like trail that would adhere to your finger. Kind of gross. You're not really sure what this substance is, but it's a curious little something that you picked up. Why would this be with a bunch of quills, you wonder?
Eat it.
The net wand.
Ugh. The wand of squid summoning.
Wand of calamari.
Yeah.
Ugh. I suppose I'll investigate my area a bit more, just curious of what this is, seeing if there's any... It's just like blank papers and quills and pens and all that.
There's stacks of blank and rolled up parchments, but there's plenty that have some writing on there as well. You can see there's a particularly large one that has some quills that are off to the side, as it looks like there is some contraption that's being conceptualized over here. You see that whatever this is powered by those keystones that you've become familiar with. Some form of a vehicle of sorts. Designed for war, no doubt. Going off your check, it's hard to discern the actual purpose, but you can at least get a good view for the actual depiction as you get a look at this.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Besides that, Beeman, what is the condition of this room? Like, what did it look like before we entered it? Was it like, dusty, like people haven't been there for a long time? I don't know if I missed you describing it like that.
Not a speck of dust. This place is immaculate. Given the magical nature of how it's lit and all of these unfamiliar materials from what it's constructed, you imagine that this place was built to remain in the condition it is through the passage of time.
All these unfinished concepts. Wonder. Especially
Alright.
that thing. Just pointing at the fucking object vehicle thing. I don't like it.
As for Nadira, going about and having a keen nose for things, a lot of this stuff appears to be just not particularly useful exchanges between parties, almost the comparing of notes and resources. It looks like there definitely was a congregation of many civilizations that were trying to achieve a common goal. There is, however, a particularly interesting looking piece of parchment that's at the centerpiece of one of the tables which you're going through. And you take a look at this, and it is quite the piece of information. There's something subtle about it. This particular parchment has a golden inlay with star motifs, not unlike the building itself. And there is a hefty piece of information that you would find.
Heliosic angels.
There's so many words.
That's a lot of words. You can read it on your own time, but if you want me to narrate this, I can. Your
No,
call.
that's okay. We all know how to read.
Very well.
That's too many words.
That's so many words.
I'm not reading it.
Diversity of life on Helios
I'm
follows a
glossing.
hierarchy. Yes. Deities incarnate.
Cool. Many words.
its wielders simply protect its power, serving as gatekeepers. Humanity's increasing reach for heliostic power appears to agitate the angels to a significant degree, where they otherwise would be rather inactive.
Great. Cool.
Nothing conclusive in of itself, but definitely a significant piece of information that bore some significance based on how it's framed and what you're finding here.
Cool.
I
You
suppose...
would continue.
Oh,
go ahead.
Well, I did want to say, I suppose after playing this nice little ditty, I'll look for other shiny things up here by the ceiling.
Oh, jeez.
You may roll investigation yourself.
Let's see.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
You're going up towards the ceiling?
Yep.
All right.
Because
You go up towards this large fixture, and you would land on it, and you would grip the metallic rings for which this fixture is made of. And you can see there's a little dancing of the lights. And you would peer inside of each of these little fixtures. There's little vent holes in the top, and you can see that those small little fist-sized balls of light are within each of these little lamps. Bit of a curious sight.
I wish to collect them.
Now, you're gonna have to try and dismantle one of these if you're intending to do so, and this seems to be pretty locked tight.
If it's inaccessible, alright.
Well, perhaps with some fiddling you might be able to get access. You can certainly try.
Yeah, sure, I'll try. I'll fiddle with one, get a shiny ball.
Roll sleight of hand.
Mouse.
Alright.
You manage to find a little top port that is very flush with the material that pops open, and there's a shiny ball that you can take for yourself, just like the ones outside.
Yeah. I'll nab it.
You nab it. And just looking at this thing, it gives a bit of a continuous pulse. Not unlike the ones outside as before. It also, once again, begins to slowly dwindle. And you notice one thing that's rather curious. It has these little trailings that are coming off it, like little specks that seem to shoot off maybe for like a foot or two and then would simmer down and would disseminate. And you can see that these little speckles coming off of it are falling vaguely in the direction of the central floating sphere for whatever reason. However, this one does disseminate a lot faster than the ones outside. You imagine it's nowhere near as bright, and with a matter of seconds, it disappears, and the light would shine once again.
That gives me an idea. Because putting balls into things does things. So I want to nab another one and then kind of push it into the center floating ball and see if that does anything.
Okay. Going off your previous check, you're quick to grab it once again, and you fly right down to that central eye that is facing the large blank canvas wall. And as soon as you do so, you see that this eye shudders. And the central glass iris piece begins to come to life. And you see that it seems to be whirring up as it begins to make a very large and loud thrumming noise that is echoing through the entirety of the chamber, which everyone in the room would look up at as this ball is now, it looks like it's preparing something, and that little lens that's facing the blank wall is beginning to glow brighter and brighter.
What's happening?
It's a PowerPoint presentation.
That's
Yeah, I literally roll up the info in my hand and I shove it into the bag of holding.
Yeah, I'll call down to the others. Ball, shine!
Sure do.
This,
Shit.
this thing is going to be an absolute menace.
But yeah, I return to my perch and study this humming thing now.
All right. It looks like it's taking its time. You can hear and almost feel, if you're sitting on top of it, a series of clicks and ticks and sparks, as though this thing is thinking. And it seems like before long, it's going to do something interesting.
Yeah,
Is everyone? What are the current actions of the party, if any?
I want to go see the stuff that I almost called him Astarian. Arathal was looking at.
Okay.
Cobweb is of the mind that this thing is about to explode. He's going to take the dodge action.
All right. You have a sharp eye on this central spear and are ready for anything.
I suppose while I'm perched on it, I just want to see if I'm able to glean anything off this fascinating little thing.
You would take a look at it, and there's really not too much more to go off of. It seems like if you're just patient, it might do something cool, but you're just gonna have to wait.
Alright.
As for Destin, you would make your approach towards Arathal, and Arathal, you see the clunky approach of your metal friend.
Hey there, Destined.
So, what do you got over here? I found a cool hammer.
I found the wand of snot rockets.
I got a rock.
You would see that he has obtained this weird wand that has this almost viscous like tip to it.
Eh.
I don't know what it does.
Did you try touching it?
Yeah, it was disgusting. Just gonna wipe one of my hands off on one of his plates.
I mean, it doesn't. If it doesn't melt my plates, I don't really care.
No, it's just it kind of adheres very stickily so to your plate, and that's about it.
I just have to pull my hand off. Oh god.
Do I notice any of the papers he's been looking at? too?
They're plain to see, as the depiction that he had witnessed is front and center on the table that he's looking at, and you would get a good look at what he saw.
Would I know what it is?
You would know immediately what this is. There's no doubt.
Cool. I guess that's going to trigger some more of my memories to come back then.
You're looking at this, and there's an immediate recognition as you stare this object down on the parchment, and you feel a bit of a pulse coming from your chest, a bit of a shift, as though within your keystone there is a bit of a writhing. You feel a bit uncomfortable, a bit pent up in a way. There's something about this depiction that just makes you stir.
Can I keep that picture?
It can be rolled up and stored.
Cool.
Arathal, you see without a word. Destin stops, stares, and then grabs that weird drawing.
I would like to vibe check the robot.
Oh, it's probably very apparent.
Oh.
It's a bit odd. He suddenly kind of stopped his curiosity towards what you're doing, and he seems a bit disturbed in a way, despite the fact that his face is very limited in being able to emote. Through body language, something has got him upset.
You good there, buddy?
I know exactly what this is. And if this is just research or they're coming up with new ideas, this is something that I know very personally. So it is exceptionally old. It is not a new idea. They must have discovered, well, exactly what it is.
That's a little disturbing.
It is not something to be trifled with. And if they are attempting to create one of these, they shouldn't.
Alright, I'll take your word for it. A little curious on what's going on in the middle of the room, but you should tell me more about that sometime.
But yeah,
I mean, I can tell you now if you really want to know.
I am not a patient creature. I am tapping the ball to make it go faster.
You give it a few taps, and a lot of the tings that you had created almost a song with previously are distorted as it's doing something beyond your understanding. I imagine everyone by this point is convening to see what the ruckus is.
Yeah, as I'm watching this thing, does it remind me of the way the cartographer core used to work?
In a similar sense, yes. It does bear some striking similarities.
Getting a reading.
Wait,
You're not
you
sure
don't...
if it's drawing knowledge from somewhere else or if it's thinking or preparing something. It's impossible to know for certain. There's not a lot to go off of here. But you know that whoever designed this and the cartographer core, there may be some ties, is what you gather.
Whoever made the cartographer core definitely was working here. A lot of his information was here.
You don't think this is like some sort of prototype, do you?
It's definitely working the way the cartographer core used to work before the upgrade.
Maybe it's got something to do with those crazy glowing balls. Some sort of
There
data
seems to be a pattern.
storage.
Maybe.
Also, check out this cool telescope.
Nice telescope.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll just kind of offer my hand, Sensei. May I?
Oh yeah, not bad. As he sort of hands the tripod to her.
I'll just kind of examine it real quick. Like, does it seem like a regular telescope on the outside?
It appears a bit strange in the way it's set up as it expands and collapses. The rings at the tips of each of its segments twists and turns. It's very intricate in the way it's created. And you look at the lens, and the way the light hits it suggests that it sees with more than just magnification. This definitely is something very intuitive that's created by someone who is exploring Helios beyond what you typically would see in your average spyglass. The work from someone who created the other wonders here, no doubt.
I'll just kind of look through the lens, see if it differs from a normal telescope.
Very much so.
It's
Yeah,
just
I was
picking
looking
up,
at-
It's just picking up auric energy.
You would look through the lens, and while there isn't much in this room, when you look through, you see that as Cobweb found out, it's almost as if the stained glass wasn't even there, and you can see straight into the horizon where there is a vibrant dancing and emanation of what you would recognize as auric energy that's coming off of those spire-like mountains, as he previously saw. Definitely has an affinity towards aura.
Interesting.
It would be at that time when it looks like whatever was going on with this center sphere would reach the extent of what it was trying to do as it begins to whir to life, as there's some light that begins to trickle out of that center lens, and would project itself onto the parchment wall. To everyone who is observing this, which I imagine is everyone, make a wisdom saving throw.
It's
Wisdom save. Wisdom save.
Just
Wizzy
how about
save
no?
high. Shit.
I doubt
Bruh.
it's going to work, but I'm going to go ahead and use my arcane deflection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, actually, hold on a minute. What is my... Where is
Do
it?
your big think.
Well, I can't remember if my, like, aura or whatever. Where is it?
I don't imagine.
I can't find it. I don't remember if it's on
everyone's-
saving throws or not.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, you were kind of across the room with Aerithal, so Aerithal is the only one to be affected by any sort of proximity advantage, with which he passed the save anyways. In fact, Aerithal, you were the only person to pass this.
Of course he was.
What?
Yes.
Cleric.
Thanks.
You would look on as light would be produced from this strange contraption. And you look over as it would draw in real time the knowledge it possesses onto the wall, and you would see firsthand what it has to show.
Oh.
Fuck!
I know
Biblically
exactly where
accurate
this music is
angels.
from, motherfucker.
Fuck is this?
To those who failed the save, there's a bit of wonder and optimism you had generated from this room, and it is immediately gone, replaced with a sense of unfounded dread. As you stare at this wall, now displaying what you see here, and you can't help but just stare in a moment, frozen in place.
If what I'm thinking is correct, would I know what I'm looking at, kind of? Maybe not
Nope.
the words, but the images? Okay.
The only thing that is familiar inherently to those who had seen the depiction created by Dagny's father is the center figure here, the Angel of Death.
Yeah, I think at some point, realizing what she's looking at, she just kind of backs away from it and probably hits a wall.
You do so as you bump into a chair and would fall flat down onto the ground.
Yeah, just kind of crawling back, and like she'll kind of curl up in a fetal position up against the wall to kind of block the sight from her eyes.
You would do what you can to abate your stare, as you particularly would feel dread and a sense of panic as your heart begins to race.
B-man. I
Yes.
know it's not really, like, how the spell exactly works, but could I try to use this to give people, like, I'm just gonna cast it, like, just to get your opinion on it, just putting it in chat. Could I try to give people a second chance with their wisdom saving throws?
Duration. Each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws. Sure. You would cast this, and you would see your radiance would echo throughout the room, and everyone who had previously been staring in this frozen silence at this wall would be shaken out of it a bit, as everyone is looking around the room a bit. This projection is still in place, but you're all now free to speak.
I am spooked. I am going to fly away and hide someplace.
I'm just imagining just fucking, like, squawking coming from Goat's character.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the symbols embossed on the side, or in the footnotes, are they legible?
You would take a look, and you have a particular affinity for any sigils, arcane work that is within a tangible trace of what you know. You look at these symbols to find that they are wholly unique. Whoever was responsible for this place, suspected to be a startographer at this rate, this is their own cipher, and you can't really make out what this is.
That's new. I can't read this. It must be encoded somehow.
One thing you would see, however, is this object here that's depicted that bears a striking resemblance to the profile of the cartographer core.
Ooh.
This room was specifically sealed off, right? Or was it just untouched for a while?
Well, it had a powerful lock on it from that door, which, as you saw, the patrol that found this place wasn't able to get open, and there's a lot of nice stuff in here that was untouched and was there for the taking. You imagine, given the context, you may be the first ones in here since its original inhabitants left it.
So, based on the look that, well, just the overall attitude of Dagny, completely like crawling away on the ground and everything, I am going to speak up and say, I don't think that the people who are using this room were up to anything good or for like the benefit of society, I guess.
No.
And not to burst some sort of bubble if this means anything good, but I will roll out the picture that I just grabbed and put it on the table as well nearby and say, this is a weapon of maybe not mass destruction, but a lot of destruction right here. And if they found one or if they've made one, it is not good at all.
Looking at this machine, is it similar to the ones that we saw in the Rotting Waters?
Let me bring this back up here. I'll re-ping it just so it's fresh in everyone's heads. It bears some similarities. You can see that it does call for the use of keystones, which you know that to a limited extent in the Rot Waters they had some very simple contraptions that made use of the same kind of tech. But this is just on a whole other level. It's something far more sophisticated.
No, this is something else entirely.
Well, I can tell you exactly what it is, not just something else.
Wait, how do you know this?
I used to be around them. They were pretty common where I was from.
You mean your keystone?
Maybe beforehand, maybe after, I'm not sure. But they were plenty common.
Do you remember what it was used for?
War. Destruction. Siege. Warfare. Mass death.
Yeah, that thing doesn't look like a taxi to me.
Do you remember where?
It's not on this plane.
She just goes wide-eyed at that statement.
Dagny, you do have this parchment here at your disposal, as well as a lot of the notes around it that were grabbed in a haste. You can make your own investigation roll to further decipher this.
Yes. Come on, baby. That's a 21, I believe. Yep.
There's some accounts that were recorded from a lot of the nearby settlements around this place, and from similar accounts from whoever attended whatever went on in here. And there is a curious trend that is shared among these people. When certain things were put into place to create portals, gates, or otherwise things that would reach into other planes of existence, something that was always poorly understood among the people of Helios. Even when, pretty close to the fall, people tried to contact planes of the Feywild or something around the name of the Fell, you're very fuzzy on that. No matter what, whenever someone tried to reach into contact or interact with a different plane, it would always seemingly connect to the Nine Hells, which is curious considering that this was uniform across a variety of different practices, across a variety of different cultures. It's as if the Nine Hells had some sort of override or authority when someone's trying to contact a different plane and always defaulted to there. And somehow this machine, which based on the schematics appears to be man-made by nature, given its power by keystones, derived from.
So, contact to any plane diverted through the Nine Hells.
Yes. In most cases, at least. It became much more prevalent close to the fall, when genocide began.
Most prevalent. Towards the fall. Sorry, I'm writing this in my notes.
Mm.
Okay, Okay, just knowing that, would I see this as any correlation to when we were using the comprehension engine?
How do you mean?
Well, we were technically on a different plane in between time and space, I believe, when we were in the comprehension engine room.
You were in a world between other worlds, as the wording of Siratoth went. You, to your knowledge, you haven't really had a whole lot of exposure to other planes. It's something ill-explored, especially once Highshire was constructed. It's something that just wasn't really touched much upon. There's shockingly little about it, despite the potential of other planes of existence. Maybe once everyone came together and understood the dangers, they just stopped it altogether. This opens a whole line of questions you really have no answers to.
Is the projection still on?
It is.
Yeah. The harpy, after hiding underneath a table, will poke its head out. Bad pigeon! And then duck back under the table.
Honestly, serves you right for messing with stuff.
Hey guys, check it out. Do you guys see this array of rings as he sort of points back up at the projection? It's sort of strikingly similar to our biblically accurate friend down here. Because he points to the wheel with eyes within eyes and stuff like that.
Right.
I wonder, did they like sort of reverse engine? Is that why it runs on cosmic energy?
It's possible.
Could be some sort of magical foci or something.
Maybe.
And for those concerned, this is able to be, let me see. This is, come on. This is present within your cartographer knowledge base if you want to look back at it. Same thing with the Heliosic Angels. Both have been added to this knowledge base.
So, angel and disambiguation. Are there any, like, legible notes that I can read off this projection, or is it just chicken scratch to me?
It appears most of this is chicken scratch. You imagine that the Startographers had their own cipher that was unique to them for whenever they wanted to divulge information between each other to withhold from the rest of the world. You imagine this presentation was either isolated to the Startographers, or they were simply presenting the more depictional aspects of this drawing. Either way, it's for you to decide. Now that you're looking at this and you've had some time to overcome your dread, you would recall the words that Idravok himself had said, that he described this entity as not just any angel, but the angel. Perhaps the top of their hierarchy in some capacity.
Yeah. And there was knowledge of it sitting right here. So this thing was known even to the startographers, it seems. She'll kind of turn away and say, "Hey, bird brain."
What? Star Trek.
How'd you turn it on?
One second.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll just point at the big sphere and just put my hand in it, questioning how.
I'll go ahead and instead of like walking, I do what actual birds do and do little hops towards
hops,
the
yeah.
group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoo, Startog, ball, shine.
Ball shine. I'm noticing the other little lamps. Seems there was a way to store information in this light. Can I go ahead and examine this thing over here?
You can. You would notice as you approach, these rings are very slowly turning. You can see that there is a slow emanation out of this object that seems to provide illumination to the rest of this room. The same light that allowed you to read the notes that were strewn across the place. Perhaps a light source, perhaps something more. It's hard to say.
Alright. Any sort of controls on it or no?
None to speak of. It's on this decadent stand that is ultimately featureless.
I'll just say to the bird, grab ball shine, put in sphere.
Bruh.
Hey, I'd say that. And you're pointing to the smaller one over here?
Yeah, I'll point towards the smaller ones and then point towards the big one.
Can't fart. I'll fly off and go ahead and try and nab another one and put it in there, the big one.
You do so, and it makes contact with this sphere the same way you had done the previous ones, as there was an ejection and dissemination of the last sphere as this next one would go in, and there's a bit of a flicker as you would hear a few weird, unsavory grinding noises from within the sphere. It would reproject once again, but it appears to be the exact same image.
Can I try and, with a mage hand, like, pry out a ball from the lens? If that'll work?
Ball from the lens? How do you mean?
Because I'm really not sure. I suppose, is there, like, anything that I could fuck with that's not a smooth surface of this?
You look it all around, but it's widely the smoothest. However, the actual lens itself appears to be able to be removed if you had enough force, maybe twisting it or undoing it in some capacity. It's worth a shot if you want to go that route.
Sure.
You do so as you fiddle around with this lens, and it would eventually pop out and would immediately fall onto the ground as it's quite heavy, and there'd be a loud clang that would echo through the room as the inner workings come to a halt. You would look down at the lens, and Dagny, you're close enough, and you look down at this thing, and you realize this is a giant diamond that was just extracted, probably worth the upwards of 500 gold if you were to try to get a price.
Yeah, definitely picking that up and putting it in the bag of holding.
You do so. A 500 gold piece diamond
money,
is acquired.
Ooh, what's in the inside of this big ball? now that that's gone.
You look inside, and there is a series of elliptical mechanisms and very intricate pieces of arcane clockwork that is simply beyond your comprehension. They have a series of tiny little runes that glow in random sequential orders that slowly come down to nothing as the device has been removed of its main component and would slowly die off and return to its inert state.
Rock, shine, tink tink. Rock, pick-a-pink.
Well, if this thing is going to be staying with us, we're going to have to extend its vocabulary so we can at least try and talk to it. It has some sort of intelligence.
I could teach a giant. That'd be funny.
Let's start with the basics first.
Eh,
But yeah, I have no idea what to do with this ball, so I'll land back to the others. And I will look around for that big shiny thing that dropped.
There we go. What, the diamond? Danny picked it up.
They didn't notice. They were looking inside.
Yeah.
You find that it is gone. The big, shiny, heavy thing is missing.
You said there were offshoots to this room?
A few alcoves, little side rooms. Yes, which have yet to be explored.
I'll go up towards one of the alcoves.
B-Man.
Yes.
I'm just gonna like crumple up a small piece of paper, cast light on it, and toss it, and just like to our bird friend, hey, look, something shiny.
You see it? It's shiny!
Catch it!
You catch it. It's very shiny. Crumply, which is kind of new.
Oh god, you gave the bird a shiny foil ball.
Listen, it's
Yeah.
gonna be distracted for a little.
That's how you train them.
Yeah,
guys,
that's
I was
true.
just over there. Oh, shiny.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I am
How to train your
entirely-
goblin.
I am entirely focused on playing and studying this shiny crumple thing.
You
Well,
sit and crumple it and would learn the tiny crumply magical ball's secrets. As for Nadira, given your affinity to nature, your glance would befall the front door as you look outside, and going off your passive as well as your, as said, affinity for nature, you see that there is a small bush that is nearby the entrance that is rustling. Perhaps there's something inside. A bit of a curiosity. Maybe an animal, maybe something else.
I'll go investigate the shrubbery.
Alright. You would leave your
I'm gonna
friends
get
to
my
their own
arm chopped off.
You'd
swear
leave
to
your
God.
friends to your own devices. And you would approach outside the front door. There'd be a small little bush that is shaking still, but as you approach, it would go quiet.
Oh.
Died.
No! I just want to be something's friend, goddammit.
You have Rasputin.
I need more friends. You don't
Real or
understand.
imaginary?
Not satisfied until you're a Disney princess, huh?
Look, each one of my personalities needs a different pet, okay?
Okay.
That's valid.
I don't think there are enough creatures in the world for that.
I swear to fucking God, I will end your life.
She knows where you live. Be
Yeah,
careful.
and I know where she lives too.
Yeah. Equal rights, equal fights.
We
Hell
can meet
yeah!
halfway. We can meet halfway.
You could be halfway and throw fists. It's fine.
Let's go.
You can just approximate my yard and fucking fight in there, and I'll film it.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Anyways, getting back on track. Yeah, the bush would go still, seeing your approach.
It will slow my approach. And is it like a tall shrubbery, or is it one of the like small bushes?
It's pretty decently sized.
Okay, I'll just kind of slow my approach and just try to just listen super carefully to see, to I guess try to hear, like, do I hear feet? Do I hear feathers? Just to try to get an idea of what may be hiding in there. Maybe. I don't laugh. This makes me nervous.
Make a nature check.
No.
Mhm.
I decline.
Hey!
Nat 20, a crit.
Yeah.
Hey!
What's in the bush?
What's in the
You
fucking bush?
hear there's a long silence, and after a while there is the ruffling of feathers, as there is ideally something small and feathered that is hiding within the bush that is alert to your presence and is remaining still.
Okay.
It's a bit curious, given you crit, that a creature like this is just in an isolated bush like this before a place like this.
That's not suspicious at all. I will keep my slow approach to the bush. And try to, I guess, approach it more of a side angle approximate to where I think the creature is. Just to try to take a little look-sees and not get my face maimed off. Maybe.
You carefully approach this bush,
The dice decide my fate.
and you would see that there's a bit of a receptiveness to whatever this creature is that is alert to you being there. And as you get closer, you see that there is a tiny little orange beak that would poke out from between the leaves, inquisitively.
That doesn't make me feel any better. Okay, I guess I'll go full bore. Not quickly. We are not startling, friend. But I will slowly just kind of continue spreading the leaves to get like a full look at what this thing is. Obviously trying not to scare it at all. Oh no, I reloaded.
You would slowly
But my
apply
point still stands.
your hands to the bush and would begin to part it. And given that you'd crit on the nature check, you would expertly apply some caution to this. And I'll wait for you to load in before I go any further.
I didn't know hitting F whatever I just hit reloads your screen.
It doesn't.
Oh damn, Becky!
You quickly part the leaves to see that you kind of beat it to the punchline, as there is a tiny little creature that is staring back at you with a very intentness in its eyes.
Oh fuck!
It's a duck!
You
Or
look
Hey,
a little
I'll
bit.
incarnate.
It's fucking
And-
goose.
Outside the game.
I guess that is technically a goose.
It's a goose. You would
How?
recognize this creature.
Motherfucking
Never seen one, though.
goose.
I don't know it's a goose, but I know it's a goose.
I think I still have one of those stickers somewhere that's anti-goose.
That's not just any goose. That is Gander, destroyer of worlds.
Can you
Wow.
Okay. I guess I'll reach into my bag and like take out a little bit of food and try to befriend the goose. Cobra chicken.
Roll animal handling with advantage.
Jesus. Okay.
Jeez.
Oh, apparently if you
I
double
swear
click
to
it, it
God.
rolls at advantage.
Mhm.
You see the little orange beak
Twice.
would inch in as you offer just a small helping of your rations, as it would nibble, accept the offering, and would proceed further into the bush out of sight, seemingly contented.
Don't follow it.
I feel like if I follow this goose, bad things are gonna happen to me. I just want to be friends.
Well, it accepted your offer, and you feel like that may have been a sign of good intentions.
Yeah, until I stick my hand in the bush and it bites my hand off through some magical portal with sharp ass teeth.
These are mean.
Sarvine. Can I try to look? I want to look in the bush to see if it's like living there, because it is really unusual for these kinds of creatures to live in bushes.
Yeah, given you've never been here before, so you have no inclination of what the wildlife looks like, but even still, a bit odd. And you would pry further into the bush to try to see where it went.
It's a mimic.
You pry
Sorry.
further into the bush, but you do not find any goose.
What? Do I see little feet marks? Anything on the ground? Did I make the goose up?
You put your head to the ground and look firmly into the bush to find that you do not see any feet whatsoever.
What the fuck? Nuggets. Any traces of white feathers, remnants of, broken branches from a heavy animal perching?
Going off of your previous nature check, which is a crit, you would search this bush up and down and would part it at certain angles to where you're confident you would find it somewhere in this bush, but you simply don't. This bush is empty.
What the fuck? Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna back up from this bush because my goose friend magically somehow left me. So, I'm gonna, slowly walk away and every, 5 steps just kind of turn back and look at it suspiciously.
You are very careful in your movement, keeping one eye over your shoulder, and you would slowly re-enter the area for which your friends still reside to find that there's nothing to be concerned about.
This goose simulator. Got it. Okay, so I'll rejoin the group, confused as all hell as to how this animal just disappeared.
As you re-enter the room with a very confused expression, where we will take a 10-minute break.
Eat.
Okay. Okay.
Skip it up.
Mm.
I have just one question for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
But man,
Like a loud school, let's get this show on the road.
Can I interest you in racism?
yes.
Yes.
Hey, that's a pretty good meatball.
What the fuck?
So we getting back into it?
You got 2 minutes.
Alright.
I'm still stuck in my phase. Oh, right. I should add the Warhammer of Banishment to your sheet, Destin, since you are
Yay.
the current person who has it.
You are going to Brazil! No!
I'm going to send you to Detroit. Be gone, Satan.
It's literally the hammer of, I don't understand you, go back to your country.
Yeah, I unironically had the idea for a band hammer. I'm like, alright, well, I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna see if anybody picks up on it.
Hmm.
There it is. Okay. Do we have everybody here?
No,
Yeah.
Chili's
Yeah.
welcome to.
Oh my god, Destin, I just noticed your health. Holy shit!
Yeah, especially since I got the, well, was it 10 temporary hit points or just restore 10 health that I got before?
God damn.
That was temporary hit points, I believe.
It was
Temp?
empty,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
Which you still have. It lasts until it gets gone or you take a long rest.
Cool.
Okay, I don't know how to do temp hit points on this thing. So I'll just keep it at 150. Oh, there it is. I see it right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Holy
But
shit.
question, V-Man, have I unraveled the secrets of the crumple and, by extension, the universe?
You have experienced the knowledge of all it has to offer.
My power grows.
Your next performance roll is with advantage. Unironically.
Neat.
being inspired by the intricacies of the crumbling noise. Alright. Getting back into the swing of things. Everyone is assembling their thoughts and is preparing to investigate the offshoots of this place, as it were. Nadira comes back inside after a quick departure outside, unbeknownst to anyone, and she has a look of slight concern on her face, but she seems all the better despite that. And you are free to act as you see fit. Presume if everyone is going to explore the remainder of this place, you may roll investigation once again.
Righto. Cobweb is going to basically pick one of the offshoots, as you said, and give it a gander. No pun intended.
I too am investigating. Not this place. Instead, the Metal Man.
Hey, let's go.
I shall investigate myself.
Humst.
Homst.
Alright. Give your DM one moment.
So, to all those who are around me, I guess I was still staring at like the image, the picture, drawing, whatever it happened to be, on the table. And if any of you guys like around me, or have you like scattered already?
Well, I'm specifically studying you, so I suppose.
Oh yeah, you're not. Yeah. Is anybody else like around me?
I was talking to a bush.
Yeah.
Cobweb roached off, I think. He's somewhere.
I think she would. I think she would go ahead and just roll up the parchment, and I mean the parchment with the machine on it, and then say, "Do you want to hold on to this, or should I?"
No, you can hold on to it.
All right,
But
I'll
you
go
should
ahead.
probably have the name to go with it. That way you know.
Okay.
That is a Hellfire engine.
Okay. Putting this into the bag of holding as, I guess it would be I mean, is it a proof of concept or schematics for a Hellfire engine?
It's a prototype.
So
Specifications on dimensions, materials, the works.
Prototype Hellfire engine. Okay.
I think I used to be one.
Really?
Before this body.
Oh shit.
Well, considering the name Hellfire, she'll assume like Hellfire probably burns a lot hotter than fire. When I'm standing close to to Destined.
Oh.
When I'm standing close to Destined, does it feel a bit warmer?
I would say probably now it does, now that I've kind of made that revelation.
You would put your hand close to his chest and you feel some warmth coming off of it. And you can see just between the crevices of his plates that's protecting the stone that you can see it's glowing this almost eerie red. And you swear you can see little drips of a crimson substance that almost seem to emanate off of the stone itself, as though it is sweating a blood-like substance. However, you don't really see any blood that's dropping to the ground.
Quite possible that you were. Noticing a stronger heat coming off of you that wasn't there before.
Then I would like to do something to try to confirm this. And because I believe it only takes 10 minutes, I'm going to cast Find Steed.
Oh, okay.
What?
Because if my knowledge of how this would work is it would probably summon something that I'm used to from my home, something I've probably seen before.
Okay. You would take
While
some
they
time
go off explore.
and
Yeah.
would cast this over the course of 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's. I think while he's doing that, that's when I go to the alcoves to search
Gotcha.
the alcoves.
Mhm.
Of which
Dagny-
my previous roll was 14.
Right. You go and investigate the remaining alcoves. And you can see that in this particular room, there's a lot of almost movement plans, delegation of resources to be moved to certain parts of certain continents at certain times. It looks like a lot of resources are being allocated in a sort of attack plan, a battle strategy. And you can see the way that the notes are depicted on this parchment. It's as if they were communing between different cultures on coordinating an attack upon a legion of dragons. It seems that these dragons, in unison, through all the infighting that they were previously observed, suddenly ceased, and at once they all collectively grouped up to assault humanity, particularly their civilizations. This battle strategy seems to be a form of a counter. There's also a account for a secondary potential target. There's a human settlement that's on the attack list. But why they would attack humans is a mystery until you read further and find that it seems as though this particular settlement is under the control of an Abyssalith. Its name is Osora.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and read. Does it have any other further information on Osora?
It does. Given that this is a particular map on moving resources, you would see that Osora is almost a straight shot south of here. It's within the Tritoral region, which you can discern that that's the area you're within now. Based on the maps that you can see, you're near the top of this region. And Osora is located almost directly south at the bottom, along the coast. Next to a detached semi-continent segment called the Isle of Contempt.
Contempt. Osora. Osora is near here. I can find some answers.
Hey, look at them, Dave.
In relation to the Legion of Dragons, did it say where they were gathering?
It looks like a forward assault was being gathered to file up north along the mountain regions that are just across a great river from here. And from the description, you would surmise that these dragons reside within the Chromatic Mountains.
So, in the Chromatics. Yeah, so go ahead and gather up those notes and put them in the bag of holding. I think she just, yeah, she'll just kind of keep looking at whatever's here. Keep rifling through stuff for anything important.
That would be the extent of useful things that you find among your heaps of various objects.
Right.
As for Nadira, you are looking in a separate alcove, and you find that there is a lot of mention of this, a sort of a correlation between these two startographer figures. One of them being Rylock, the other one being Genesis. And there's a lot of mentions of this Isle of Contempt, for which Genesis seems to hold a lot of relevance. It seems as though that this region, it was at one point solely under their control. A strong lead for those looking to find them.
Huh. Is there any information or indication on where specifically we're looking for Genesis, right? That's the startographer we're looking for currently.
Yes, and
Yes.
this is a direct reference to its location.
Any specific like geographical markers or things that would kind of stand out when, we physically go to look?
You would go ahead and try to find whatever notes you can. It looks like the Isle of Contempt is a piece of, at one point, was southern Tritoral. Once again, due south of where you are now. But at some point, this isle was detached from the rest of the continent. You feel like this is surely the work of the Startographer themselves. But the current notes suggest that if you go to the southernmost regions of Tritoral and head southwest, there is a large piece of land that has an enormous crater as the defining feature of it. That itself is the Isle of Contempt. Give me a second here. There are some depictions that you can use here. I'm gonna go ahead and use our cartographer core as the base. Second. Granted, this isn't the cartographer core, but this is a map that actually has a good idea of what this place looks like. We'll let everybody load in. Damn, that's what I get for rendering in 5K. Damn.
Holy shit.
Everyone's taking their sweet
I'm
ass
at
time.
96%, 98%.
98%.
Let me in.
Let me in.
Holy shit, dude.
He's a big map.
What is my computer trying to load?
It's 98% done.
Come on, Nayslayer, wake up.
Once it reaches 100%.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
that just everybody's computer just shuts off.
Deploy the flashbangs.
You question me?
It's like a 32 terabyte zip bomb or something.
Oh, there we go. Wow, it took forever for that.
Well, this
Wow.
map is a lot bigger than what you're seeing here, I'm afraid.
There it is.
Mhm.
Whoa.
Based on what you're
Okay.
seeing, you know that this is the southern regions of Tritoral.
Up here.
This is the patch of land that is designated to be the home of Osora, and this large piece here is the Isle of Contempt.
The whole piece is the Isle.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And this is southwest of where we are now.
Yep.
If you tilt your head to the left and kind of squint your eyes, it looks like the OK symbol.
Oh my god,
You
it
would
does.
say that.
I was going to say that, but I didn't think that somebody would like that.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
Very nice.
But there it is, plain to see. A destination. How convenient.
Okay, I'll relay all the information to the others about the location and that being kind of the last known place of significance in relation to Genesis.
All right. As everyone is made aware.
What's up with the giant fuck off crater in the at the end there? And he points. Looks kind of like the landmass broke off somehow.
It's the dinosaurs taking revenge.
Oh shit!
No.
What's a dinosaur?
No, I imagine that the Startographer that inhabits this region probably had something to do with that. One of the many things that Startographers did was to isolate themselves as much as possible while they scattered across Helios.
Fuck crates!
Well, that is certainly an isolation spot.
I imagine there's also some obfuscation on it. So this crater may just appear as a crater on the map here, but it's probably something else on the inside.
Well, you guys know what this means, right?
Travel mod.
We got a lead. As he claps his hands, he said, "Let's go!"
I mean, we'll have to at least tell them what's going on here.
What do you mean? We opened the door. We did our job.
Yes, we did. Gotta at least pass that along. Maybe they can at least take some shelter here, or at least try and glean a little bit of information from what's in here.
You kidding me? With all this Archotech laying around, there's no telling how big a boon this would be. We might have just done something here.
Possible.
Well, at least we have a direction.
Yes. And I suppose if we're not going to do anything else, we should head back to camp. I imagine they'll have something to eat ready.
If they don't, I can always use that spell. Though, that food's kind of bland.
Oh, are you talking
You're
about the
kinda
dust
bland.
witches?
No, the spell I used, you know, at the mansion.
Create
Yeah,
food
no,
and
I-
water.
I
Yeah.
remember. Well, one of our old teammates used that spell. He made a bunch of sandwiches and they sucked.
Hot food is better than.
How long did that sandwich last?
Dust.
40 years.
Well, it's basically been in his pockets for the past 6 months as well.
It should
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
That spell only lasts for 24 hours.
What do you
That-
mean?
Oh wait, no, it's spoiled.
Yeah.
Fuck sandwiches.
I kept it. Oh Jesus! I kept it fresh with my rip-roaring vitality.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to believe you.
That's either that, or I have parasites now.
Probably both.
Probably had him to
Yeah.
begin with.
Alrighty, well I suggest we make our way back to the camp. I've got something to tell you guys anyway. Not here though. I want to get some food in my belly first.
Alright. Let's go.
Alright.
All right.
Destined, are you coming?
Would my spell have finished?
Your spell, by this time, would have finished.
Cool.
And boop, and boop, and boop, and boop. You hear the echoes of a certain galloping coming out of seemingly nowhere. Perhaps it's through these halls or something beyond. You're looking around trying to locate the source, and of course around one of the corridors there would be the soft glow of hellfire and the smell of brimstone, as there would be something that rounds the corner.
Demons!
Oh, fuck!
It's so fun!
Oh no, he's a demon puppy!
What is it?
He's a big boy.
He wants to eat us!
There
Like,
would be
just on instinct, just has her arcane rod pointed at it.
there'd be a heavy set of 3 pairs of legs as molten footfalls and a molten panting as this strange creature would approach you, Destined. At your behest, it would arrive just feet before you and gives a bit of a and a bit of fire would be produced from its maw at your command.
I lay my hand on like the forehead center, like in between its eyes, kind of like how you do it with like a dog that has a fat head.
Yeah.
And then I scratch underneath its chin, and I speak to it. I say, you shall be known as Dazath from this point on.
That ass.
The creature shudders a little bit at the physical contact. You're sure it's not used to such a thing, but is receptive to your words and is ready to be issued commands.
Follow for the time being.
Would do so.
Not really.
Wizard!
This is no place for a horse right now.
Just riding it, bonk, bonk, bonk.
Destined, were you in here summoning demons?
It seems so.
Okay, I was just wondering. As he walked away.
Well, it
That's something that
definitely
gets you
confirms
damned.
your origins now.
I guess it would make more sense to say that this is a large creature, by the way.
Yes, it is. All right. And with that, I imagine everyone is taking their leave.
Yes.
One thing everyone would notice, actually, given the combined investigation checks of Aerithal and Cobweb and Destined, even though you guys had been busy with everyone else, one curious detail you would notice in a final larger alcove, there's the workings of a teleportation circle, complete with extra pairs of chalk and parchments to record certain sigils. The works. An entire room dedicated to it as an offshoot over here. It looks like this may be the perfect place to set up a circle of your own to go to wherever. There is the teleportation circle already complete that is ready to be used, so it seems. The untouched nature of this place has not soiled it in the slightest.
Hey, Dagny,
Yes.
do you think you could copy that?
Well, I think she'll just notice that, and I think the first thing she'll probably see is whatever the sigil is in the completed teleportation circle.
You would take a look at the unique sigil for a destination you do not yet know, and it would take some time to copy it down. There's ample materials here to do so, but it looks like this goes off to somewhere unknown.
Yeah, definitely taking note of that. Is it just spare parchment on here, or are there extra like spell scrolls?
It's empty scrolls and parchments waiting to be used. Just by, I will add, through the nature of this place, given it is very secure and has not been broken into, the place for a teleportation circle, and the main congregation area, given that this place seems relatively safe, you imagine that this would be a fantastic location for the people down below to get a decent roof over their heads under, should you wish to advise that.
Yes. We could definitely use this to our advantage, this circle. And at least give the settlement a better roof over their heads.
Yeah.
Fuck circles.
And honestly, I think Kylek and Bersa could probably get a little bit more out of here than we can at the moment. But we should go. We can tell the camp.
On a
At
side,
least Kylek and Bercy what we found.
on a side note, I was studying Destin while he was casting this spell. To just, I suppose, gleaming information off that. I suppose in 2 levels that'll come to a head.
You would take some time to study the Metal Man. You have heard of something like him before, although the accounts that the people that you've been following for weeks now, when they talk about giant metallic men, they're bigger than what he is, and usually a lot less intelligent. They issue commands from a human that seems to be in charge of them, but you're not really sure who's in charge of Destined. He is unique unto himself.
He must be a baby.
Oh no.
But
That's
yeah,
the most you can discern.
as we're heading out, oh, he'll be my new perch.
Hmm.
And I would
Destined, this bird lady lands on you and apparently you're giving them a ride, so it seems.
Where's the roof? Are you just like bonking your fucking head?
It's pretty high.
Well, I mean, isn't the doorway massive?
Yeah, it's fucking
So
huge.
it's not like
it's
just
pretty
the
large,
frame.
yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, you are now suffering the inspection as I'm tapping you with talons to see what sounds you make. And poking and prodding at you.
Yeah, I guess once we like get out of the main door, I'll hop on Dazeth
Hmm.
and ride him into camp.
This might not be the best thing to ride it on. You might scare half the settlement.
That's fine.
I don't
Zero
know,
hugs given.
shock and awe is what we're going for, but I respect your choice.
I mean, it came out with us. It's not attacking you guys or me. I feel if they are afraid, they are afraid, but it won't harm them unless I want it to.
Well, yeah, that's because you're the beneficiary of the contract. It's obviously not going to attack us, because you haven't told it to.
While they're mid-conversation, I'm mage-handing and seeing if his eyes have a gem like that floating ball. Just kind of poking his eyes while he's talking.
They give metallic clinks, and yeah, it's a very unpleasant sensation having talons going for your eyes.
Oh, it's
You're
the
not a
mage
fan.
hand, because I imagine the talons are too big.
Hmm.
Equally unpleasant.
I'm gonna like Transformers cannon my arm again and point it at her. Get off.
1 second. I'm spooked, yeah. I'll return to my OG perch, Aerithal.
Alright. And with that, I presume everyone is exiting and is returning back down towards the camp at the bottom of the cliff.
Yes.
Hey,
That you would. Just in time for the afternoon sun.
Hat.
You can see that there is a crowd of people that have amassed by the central campfire. There's more people than there were from when you first arrived. You think that a lot of the scouting patrols that were out doing their work have returned for the day. You can see that there is a pretty robust spit that has been erected from large tree branches, as you can see pieces of large meat that are being slowly churned. You think this may have been the handiwork of you guys, given the owlbear you took down.
Like outside talking. I would assume that there's no token for it yet. For my steed.
Oh, for your steed, that's right. You're riding on it, aren't you? Well, I'll
Yes,
have
I
you
am.
know, there is.
Ah, yay!
Hey, big boy.
Christ.
You are riding him, he is big boy. You should have control of the token, as a matter of fact, I think.
I do not. I am attempting to drag and move, but I do not.
Let me
Cobweb's just
adjust
sort of
that.
I
Free
can
him.
click it though.
Boom! There you go.
Yay!
I
How do I pin the two together now?
Draw
I
the box
usually
over it to select it.
Ah, okay, yeah.
yeah, I select both. Christ!
It's so large.
Fucking hell.
Cobweb comes in waving his hands. Yeah, we cracked it.
Hey, look, the big guy's back. I bet he got all sorts of cool stuff. What did he say? Who did he crack?
Oh, Cobweb's fan club.
Your mom.
You would stop, and you can see there's a number of heads that look over towards you, Destin, as conversations are widely interrupted and go silent as there is a concerned stare that would befall many of the side conversations taking place here, as everyone seems to be looking you down with great worry, and hands would rest on the pommels of swords ready to go.
What, you never seen a horse before?
There would be one of these ruffians that would speak up.
What the fuck are you talking about? That ain't no horse. Get off with that. You're gonna get burnt. What the fuck are you? What's going on with that?
It's his steed. Don't worry about it.
Steve,
I am a conjurer of great creatures, and this is one of them. Technically, it's honest.
Roll persuasion.
Oh,
He just fired, puppy.
He just fired.
Yeah, try telling them that. Everything out here is hostile to them.
Oh.
Shooting them!
oh shit.
You're not helping. Everyone is on edge here. They take some steps back.
Destined, I think
Some-
it's best you let your steed keep its distance. I told you this.
Fine. I will dismiss it for the time being, but as it's like walking, it kind of like disappears into like a hellfire portal, and I just like clamber right off of it.
Fucking metal.
There's a whoosh as it is dispelled.
Pocket brimstone.
There. Better now?
There would be the nerves of the crowd slowly calming down, having that gesture taken.
I would assume I'm probably glowing from the heat, just pure like heat from it.
There's a few embers that are flicking off of your legs, but ultimately you're settling back down to more normal temperatures.
I see food.
Uh-oh.
It's not yet cooked. You can see there's a great deal of people, including Kylak, who's right here, who seems to be in charge of managing the meat. And there's some equally concerned expressions as you approach. And as things are beginning to calm down, having that large beast taken care of, they would slowly raise again as people look over to you. And people don't know what to make of you either. And you'd hear Kylak raise a hand. Hey, quit it. All right, guys, it's okay. All right. Not everything around here is inherently hostile, and Patrol 26 is personally seeing that this manages to keep things under control. You can think of it as a pet, okay?
I am still perched on Aerithal, so that probably helps his words.
Can I just
free to teach it.
like taking a piece of bread out of like a ration and just like putting it up for them to eat?
Are you
Feel
accepting the
free to
bread?
teach it tricks,
Ew.
cage it, whatever
Bread.
you need to
It's
do.
not, this isn't meat. I refuse.
Little shit.
I imagine when it tried to eat raw meat, it probably was doing so because it's a carnivore. There should be some dried jerky in your rations if you want to do that.
I shall swap the bread for meat.
Meat is presented.
Definitely open up my mouth, revealing the multitude of razor-sharp teeth. That's very stark against the human face. And bonk! Snatch it right out of his hands.
Yeah, please don't take a finger.
Yeah. Everyone sees this bird-like humanoid being fed while still perched on top of Aerithal. And although you imagine people have seen crazier things, they're still a little weirded out by it. But at least their guard is slowly dropping back down as things go slowly back to as they were.
Yeah, I wouldn't knock the bird too much. She's actually the one who opened the door.
I helped.
Well, yeah, you helped. For sure. But, well, she sort of figured it out first, I guess.
There's one of this mage-inclined woman who would speak up. That creature helps you? Wait a minute, you're talking about the fortress that's on top of the cliff?
It
Yes,
Doors
the
are
side
open.
door there, it is open.
You got in? Actually?
We did.
What, like it's hard?
Yeah, we cracked it.
Yeah, we just
You guys
pushed
didn't
open the
hear me?
doors. Come on, guys.
It was made more towards those who are more arcanely inclined.
We had
Oh.
figured as much, although we hadn't quite figured out the intricacies of the place. We haven't been here very long. You'll have to excuse us. Would you mind informing us?
Well, I suppose you wouldn't really know, as seeing as it had something to do with startographers, at least.
I have heard of 26. I've heard of what you've done. And I do know that you have a special reputation with them, so I suppose it only makes sense.
Well, we have found evidence that this may have been some sort of congregation place that was used during the genocide.
That sounds advantageous. What kind of condition is everything in there? You have to tell me all about it.
Pristine.
Yeah, it's as if this place was frozen in time until we opened the door.
I'll say for brevity's sake, you would disclose a lot of the findings that you would come across in there to everyone, as it looks like you have garnered a crowd, as everyone would close in, eager to hear about what was behind the big funny door.
While everyone's distracted, I want to unperch, sneak towards the meat.
Okay. You're just trying to sneak a little grab of that meat.
Yep.
I guess roll stealth, since everyone's distracted.
Oof.
Oh man.
You would reach a talon for it, and there would be a smack of a hand as one of the scouts would bat you away and gives you a stern look. No. Bad. Bad.
Fuck her!
Hey,
Jesus!
don't be rude.
We taught the parrot to cuss. Fuck.
Oh no.
I think I know who caused it.
Kylak
me?
eventually would speak up again. Well, sounds like this is a place just for the taking, isn't it? Beats being down here, I suppose. Any leads on the big heliostone door that we have here?
Well, knowing that we have now, I think there may be some correlation here, specifically on why it's somewhat demonic. I'll have to examine it a little further, though, but there's bound to be something here to open it.
I imagine that them placing themselves on top of the cliff that houses this door wasn't an accident. I think that if we work together and compile everything in there, we might be able to discover more than you had just assumed. It seems like there's a treasure trove of knowledge in there if we just know how to look at it.
Yes, but we also have to be careful.
Shine ball, no.
Right. Thank you. Well, I suppose if that's the case, then if you consider it safe, it'd be a good point to move everyone up there. And I'd like to scout things out for myself first, just to make sure that there really isn't any risk. But being out here at camp, being at constant risk of the elements and the creatures within these trees, this may be the start of a very strong point to hold out.
Yes.
Sure as hell beats having a teleportation circle in the dirt. We can have a more rooted settlement. Connect to Point Fireheart and even a few of the other settlements that we've had some contact with.
It definitely will be of help to try and reestablish something, but we also need to keep ourselves from being found out by the Starfallen.
You know, it's funny. They don't really seem to leave Highshire. I'm not sure they're interested on anything else that's outside of our kingdom.
For good reason.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just need to make haste with our objectives here.
right.
Yes.
Well, if you guys are able, then we can start moving things now, and hopefully we'll be able to stiff the place out, get set up in there, and we'll be looking pretty good for this place.
If you want us to get started, might as well do it now.
Let's not waste any time. We're still waiting on one of our scout patrols that hasn't come back, but if they haven't come back by the time that we're set up, maybe you guys could come investigate, or at least one of you, but we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. We have priorities.
Where did they go off to?
Further east, that was Adriel's group, I think. There's 3 of them that were searching for food, but they still haven't come back. Never mind them. Let's focus on the task at hand. Shall we?
Yes. Let's go.
With that, Kylak would delegate some people to move some things around as a search party is getting ready to check out the place for themselves. Or I would like to end this session.
Alright.
As a little DM note, I would like to take next week off because I am fucking burned out. I want to take a little bit of a breather. That's fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Only for next week.
Okay.
The week
Yeah,
after, I'll
that's
be
fine.
back at it.
All right.